Hello everyone, my name is Laurie and welcome along to another edition of DR Boxing Weekly. This time we are live in the studio for Big Fight Night, or shall I say Big Fight Day. We are covering the big fight taking place over in Japan, in Tokyo. Stephen Fulton defending his super bantamweight title against Inoue Monster Inoue. Promises to be a massive occasion, and we are covering it live in the AFTV studios. But today it's a DR Boxing studio. To my far left, Shane Willoughby in the house. What are you saying?
Right.
Hey, long time no see. He's been off.
Yeah, I've been away. I've been abroad, and I'm going abroad again. So looking forward to this fight. They'll get some good boxing action before the big one on Saturday. So
you know what it is? It's ever since you called him out for not having a boxing match, he hasn't actually rocked up since then.
Bro, it's not.
It's been weeks. He's been running.
Busy,
very busy, man. I've got to introduce to my immediate left, Nick Francis, aka the voice of reason in the house. What are you saying?
Oh God, what's going on? Yeah, good fight, man. Good fight and a good warm-up fight, like you said. Good warm-up fight for next week. And it is weird to be covering boxing.
A warm-up?
I was going to say,
not a warm-up fight.
This
This is a big fight, but
I think you're diminishing this fight, man. This is a big fight in its own right.
Not as big, but just before the big fight, the pound-for-pound great fight is difficult, but it is a big fight.
It's annoying because if you think about it, sorry, I know you're going to go to James, but if you think about it, if it wasn't for Crawford and Spence, everyone would be talking about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone would be talking about this.
Last but not least, to my right, James Tuning House. I wonder who he's going to be simping for today. I'm sure we're going to find out soon.
I just spit facts, mate.
Spit
That's how
facts.
it is, man. Good to be here, man. Happy to be here with you boys.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really looking forward to this. I think, Nick, you're diminishing it slightly because to me, this is a massive fight.
Massive.
And I'm not just saying that because we're covering it live. The mere fact that we're covering it live on a Tuesday, that tells you everything you need to know. Massive fight. Unified champion taking on what a lot of people would say is one of the pound-for-pound fighters at the moment in Inoue Monster Inoue. Do you guys agree that he's on the pound-for-pound list?
100%. He's definitely on the pound-for-pound list now.
Where would you say in the mythical pound-for-pound rank? For
me, I always go Usyk, Crawford as my first two, and then I'd probably put him three. But
no Canelo?
No, we're not going down that road because that's a long.
No, but to be fair to James, a lot of people do have Canelo on their list.
But let me explain why not. You clean out a division. Inoue cleaned out a division. There's no one at 118 right now saying fight me Inoue because he's cleaned out everyone. You see what I'm saying? He beat Nonito Donaire. He beat Rodriguez. Obviously, there was the fight that people wanted to see a few years ago was between him and Casemiro. Casemiro had that incident, which we're not going to go down. So obviously, Inoue's cleaned out everyone at 118. So now he's moving up and he's doing what Canelo should be doing in taking on the best available opponent in Fulton, who, let's be honest, I think Fulton's beaten 4 world champions and 9 undefeated fighters in a row, and then he just beat Danny Roman, who was former unified champion, and then Figueroa, who was also a world champion. So what Inoue's doing right now is fantastic.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, man. He's a proper fighter. I would have him on my pound-for-pound list, and I wouldn't have him in the top 3 simply because, and it's not necessarily his fault, I don't think the resume is a stack to some of the other fighters in there.
4-weight world champion.
Yeah, but if you look at the fighters, I mean, what's his best win?
Nonito Donaire.
Yeah, a 37-year-old.
And Emmanuel Rodriguez was a good win as well.
No, they're good wins. Listen, I'm not trying to diminish his achievements in any way. All I'm saying, for me, if you're going to be pound-for-pound number 1, 2, or 3, I've got to look at that resume and I've got to see some fellow killers on there.
True.
And to be honest, when I look at Inoue, as much as I'm impressed by him as a fighter and what he's achieved, I mean, you know, he's unified all the belts at previous weights. But I'm looking at that resume, and the best fighter there is a 37-year-old Nonito Donaire.
I get that. That's true.
But if he wins tonight and he wins in spectacular fashion, then yeah, there's no doubt. Nick, what do you say?
Yeah, I'd still have him in the top. Similar to Shane, I still have him definitely top 5. I think we've had arguments before about you and Shane have had arguments that I've refereed off camera about the state of heavyweight boxing today versus the heavyweights in the 80s, whatever. And the general theme that we all agreed on is you can only beat who's in front of you, right?
Facts.
You can only beat the guys that are in your division.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you can't take it away from him, and especially when there are other people that you put over him who, not necessarily you, but other people put Canelo and different things like that, and he's not. He's Canelo is not doing what Inoue is doing, regardless of the talent level in that division. That's not his fault. Also, to get people to come over to Japan, which isn't as known for boxing as America. Get Americans coming over to Japan. That's the kind of brand that he's built. James always talking about brand, and Ryan Garcia and these guys that bring numbers and following. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's doing all the things right as a world champion should do.
And he won the world's boxing super series as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I would still have him top 3, but below Usyk and probably below Crawford as well. But we'll see what happens next week.
James?
So you're thinking it's a write-off Crawford Spence?
What?
We're talking about whether Inoue should be on the pound for pound.
Come in that conversation.
I think you need an espresso. Wake yourself up.
All right, well,
get with the program.
No, I do think he should be on there. I don't think he's quite on the caliber of a guy like Canelo. I think you're being quite disingenuous the way that you're kind of shrugging him off there. But of course,
who?
And I think that,
shrugging who off?
Canelo
Cannot
in
be in
this
the top
level.
5.
He's got this habit. I've noticed that you do this a lot. We start talking about a particular fighter.
No, because he was just
and then
shrugging
you
it off.
digress onto either Canelo, Ryan Garcia, Conor
that's
McGregor,
not true.
or
That's not true.
something like that. You do this all the time.
No, that's not true.
You do this all the time.
We were talking about it earlier. It was in the conversation, but of course, I do think he is.
to get them names out
you
there.
can't-
Canelo and
The current Canelo, the current form Canelo cannot be pound for pound top 5. in the
No.
world.
On current form can't be, because you can't name me one division where he's cleaned out with no stone
Okay, look,
unturned.
all right, let's stop talking about Canelo. I'm asking you
Yeah.
direct. Is Inoue on the pound for pound listings, and if so, why?
Top 5, yes. I don't think he's quite done enough to break into the top 2, like you were saying. I think today is a massive occasion for that.
Facts.
And I think if he gets him out of there in convincing manner, then perhaps he could be put in there. But like you say, it is still, I don't want to say early on in his career, but he's still got a lot of mileage left to go to reach that top level. So I'd probably put him comfortably around 4th.
Yes, that's fine.
I'd arguably Crawford ahead of him.
Spence?
I want to argue Spence. That's what I'm thinking. I want to argue Spence, although I do think there is a little bit of a level between Crawford and Spence personally. But I think there is still a long way to go. Oh, Usyk's my number 1.
Oh, okay.
Usyk's
I wouldn't argue with Usyk as number 1, to be honest.
No. Does Tyson
Usyk's my
Fury ever
number
shout
one,
for number 2?
No, of course not.
Who?
Tyson Fury?
No.
I told you he's going to bring in Tyson Fury's name.
What is that on account of his fight with Ngannou?
Perhaps.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury should be taken off. If he was on any pound for pound listings, his name should be removed
Look.
the day he signed that fight with Ngannou.
What I wanted to say though is, I feel like especially people who's like, I don't want to say casual, but like in and out boxing fans, they will just look at this fight as another easy win for Inoue. But what I want people to understand is, Fulton is a killer. I had the privilege to see this guy train in Philadelphia. I mean, this guy...
A killer?
When I mean it, bro, this guy is an amazing, tremendous fighter.
Yeah, that's with respect. I think the two terms are
when I don't mean in terms of
separate from
I don't
each
mean in
other.
terms of his knockout power, but I mean in terms of his mindset.
Okay.
Because if you look at Fulton, especially the Figueroa fight and the Angelo Leo fight, where he could have boxed off the back foot, he was a better back foot boxer than both of those guys. He went in the middle and trade and beat both of them. So he's not scared to mix it up. But obviously, being from Philadelphia, he's got that slick style.
Is it fair to say that the win over Figueroa, and listen, I think he did win, but there was some people that suggested that Figueroa was worthy of at least a draw in that fight?
It is a close fight, so it can go to either guy. In my personal opinion, I felt like because Figueroa is very messy and he just throws volume, the quality shots came from Fulton, but the overwhelming volume came from Figueroa. Now, I do understand if you pick volume over quality, then 100% you'd probably go Figueroa. I personally went for Fulton, but then it wasn't even just that fight. He then went and fought Danny Roman and absolutely destroyed him.
Yeah, I watched that.
He fought Angelo Leo before that and absolutely wiped the floor with him. So when you look at the way he fights and the names that he has, you can arguably say he's got better wins on his resume than Inoue does.
Oh, for me, he definitely does.
And it's his weight class. Inoue is moving up.
Yeah.
So how does that power translate to 122 pounds?
Exactly. Okay, you kind of segued onto something I was going to talk about there. Whilst we're waiting for the fight, people who are in the watching us and in the comments, I think they're expected to be in the ring about, between 11:30 and 12. So we're building up to that at the moment.
Isn't
so.
Rabisi fighting before that?
Yes, I believe so. And I've not seen him in the ring yet, so he could be running a little behind schedule. But initially, that was what we were being told, that the fight was going to start about 12-ish, but we'll see. But whilst we're waiting for that, I thought it'd be interesting if we go through the tail of the tape. So let's start with the champion, Stephen Fulton, born in Philadelphia, USA. He's 29 years old. A height of 5'6.5", which is a pretty good height for those weights. Remember, we're talking about super bantamweight, 122
It's
kg.
about your height, Nick, right?
Sure.
If I could finish. So, yeah, super bantamweight, 122 pounds. That's about, 8.5 stone. So they're not big men, as you can see there, but they can both fight. Don't worry about that. So, yeah, so 5'6.5" height for Fulton, which, as I said, is a decent height for that weight. He's got a reach of 70.5 inches, which is a good reach. He's orthodox. He's had 21 fights, 21 wins, 8 KOs, so he's not a big puncher, 0 losses. Notable wins, as my boy Shane touched on earlier, he's got some very good wins, namely Brandon Figueroa on points, Angelo Leo points, Daniel Ramon points. The Brandon Figueroa fight was slightly disputed. Some people said that they thought that Figueroa did enough to win on volume. But I'm with Shane. I thought that Fulton done the better quality of work, and I gave him the win, as did the judges. And then the Angelo Leo performance and Daniel Ramon were both very good performances. Right, let's have a look at Naoya Inoue, nicknamed the Monster, born in Japan, 30 years old, 5'5", so he's an inch and a half shorter than Fulton. 67.5 inch reach, which is 2.5 inches less than Fulton. He's also orthodox. 24 fights, 24 wins, 21 KOs. So that's a KO percentage of about 88%. No losses, no draws. His most notable wins, as I touched on earlier, Nonito Donaire, he's beaten him twice. The first time was a well-contested points win. The second time, he blew him out of there. Okay. But as I said, Nonito Donaire does have to be taken into consideration. If I say he's in the twilight of his career at 37-year-old, then I'm actually being kind, because 37-year-old, I think we can all agree on this table, for those lighter weights, is almost ancient.
It was funny though, the Nonito Donaire was on a good run before that fight.
Yeah, he was.
At the time, it was still considered.
Oh yeah, it's a very good win.
Very good win.
But what I'm saying is,
I know what you mean.
By the time the lower weight guys get to about 33, 4, 5, they're pretty much out.
Because they rely so much more on reflexes and agility.
Yeah.
What would you say is the peak for someone around those weights?
I'll say you're looking at between, I don't know.
Because I would argue that it's around 27, 26.
Mid to late 20s.
Because usually it would be your 30s, but at the really lightweights, you're looking 26, 27, I'd say.
I'd probably say slightly higher, around 30.
I don't know, that is a good question. That's a good question. But anyway, I think it's fair to say that the lighter weight guys, they tend to peak earlier.
Yeah, facts.
And so they decline is earlier as well. So that was the point I was making there. Right, so notable wins, as I said, Nonito Donaire twice. An Australian guy called Jason Maloney is a good fighter. He wiped him out. Jamie McDonnell, former world champion from England, he wiped him out. Although, to be fair, McDonnell was pretty much weight drained in that fight. And Paul Butler from England, who, let's be honest, sought the path of least resistance when he fought Inoue, and didn't really show any ambition.
I'm surprised you didn't say Emmanuel Rodriguez, because I remember Rodriguez was coming into that fight undefeated. A lot of people thought, especially the Mexicans, thought he was going to beat Inoue.
Yeah, we'll add that one. Yeah,
he knocked him out in the first minute. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, so there you have it. That's the tail of the tape. And Shane mentioned there the punching power of Inoue, and listen, man, this guy's a serious puncher. But what I like about Inoue, he's not just a big puncher. He's not a brawler. He actually sets the shots up. He's very sharp, good boxer, and he throws combinations, and he's electric, man. And so this is not going to be one of these fights where Fulton is seen as the boxer and Inoue just a brawler and puncher. Inoue can box too. So, Nick, what's your thoughts on it?
For Inoue to win, I did say, I think he's capable of a late stoppage, but he's going to have to fight a near perfect fight. He's going to have to get in and out nice and quickly. He's going to have to use his legs a lot. Fulton is Inoue is a very good boxer, but Fulton's a superb boxer, an excellent boxer. So Inoue's going to have to get in and keep setting up those shots time and time and time again. It's going to be really difficult. Get in, set up the shot, do what damage you can, and then get out of there quickly, and utilize, like I say, use his feet, because the reach advantage, the size advantage. It's not a huge size advantage, but Fulton's got it. The boxing advantage, Fulton's got it.
The speed,
Fulton's got it. So he's going to have to use his legs a lot. It's going to be a long, tiresome, cumbersome fight, and he's going to have to try and chip away at him really, really slowly. And that's why I feel like a late stoppage maybe for Inoue if there is a stoppage. But all the advantages are probably with Fulton at the moment.
Okay. Well, I've got a little smile on my face here because I'm reading this. I've got to read this out to you guys. It's
hit the likes, by the way.
Bring on the comments and the likes.
Hit the likes, by the way.
Smash the likes.
This one's from Fernando. Check this out. So yesterday I was on a football podcast, and I was asked about the offer that Mbappe
the billion
has received, and I said that to me, Mbappe has to take it. It's only a year. The amount of money involved is crazy money. He can still fulfill his dream of going to Real Madrid after a year. He'd be mad not to take it. That's my personal view.
Yeah,
so
might as well.
This guy Fernando is criticising me, saying I'm hypocritical. Basically, is what he's saying, because he said that how could I say that Mbappe should take the money, but then I'm criticising Fury?
Yeah.
And come on, bro.
Is that you on the burner?
I was thinking the same thing. I think exactly the same thing. You know, should Mbappe
sports.
not have to give up his European football license? You know, if he's going to go and
does he have to defend the European license
and go away?
Does he have to defend the European
Arabia?
license?
I don't have a problem
Is he
with him
obligated
doing
to
it, but I
defend the
also
title?
don't have a problem with Tyson Fury doing it.
No, but you're being totally disingenuous.
It's too-
And
Okay,
with
but no,
respect,
that's like him taking, Champions League qualifications over to Saudi Arabia with him, but the UCL aren't going to let him do that. You asked me a question, and I'm answering the question.
I didn't ask you a
No,
question.
you did.
I
You
didn't.
did. You said, does he have to defend it? And I'm answering your question.
Right,
That
okay,
is
you carry on
as
talking.
opposed to
Then
him
when you're done
taking
talking, I'll come in.
Okay,
Go on.
well, as opposed to
I'll
him
give you enough
taking-
rope to hang yourself. Go on.
As opposed to him taking the UCL qualifications over with him, the UCL are stopping him from doing that.
What
The
UCL
WBC
qualifications?
should be doing the same thing.
What are you talking about?
That's basically what you're saying here.
James has lost
Do you
me
want some?
completely.
Do you want some coffee?
Yeah, I can.
Because I think you're serious.
As long as there's no milk in that one.
It's two different sports.
It's two different sports.
Go on, Laurie.
It's
Lay out the
absolute
case.
rubbish. Listen, I said if Tyson Fury, I never said that Tyson Fury shouldn't fight in Ghana for money, number one. I said if he wants to do that type of thing, he should give up the belts. Because what you're doing is you're slowing up the division and you're not fulfilling your obligations as a heavyweight champion of the world. That's what I said.
Right.
With Mbappe, he's not doing anything untoward. Still playing professional football. No,
Against other professionals.
Against professional footballers. He's come to the end of his contract. He's going to Madrid, we all believe. There is that year in the intervening period. And in the meantime, he's been offered an unbelievable amount of money. And I'm saying he should take it. How does that possibly compare? You two guys, voice of reasons here.
To sum it up in one sentence, what Tyson Fury is doing is affecting other people's careers. What Mbappe is doing doesn't affect anybody else's career. It would only affect Mbappe. What Tyson Fury is doing affects other boxers' careers.
That's
it.
So in answer, Fernando, I don't know if you're trying to troll me, but there's your answer.
No, but as I said, it's on the sanctioning boards. It's not on him.
No one
it's on the
disagrees with
WBC.
No one disagrees
It's not
with
on
me.
Tyson Fury.
That's a different argument.
The same way UEFA aren't
That's a
letting
different
Mbappe take Champions League qualifications with him. They shouldn't be letting
You're trying to make
talking
equivalence
about?
where there's no equivalences.
I think you should just allow it. Allow it.
No, but I'm just saying it's on the qualifications, not on the.
The more you talk,
You're
the more
confusing
you're
me
hanging
still.
yourself.
I'm not hanging myself.
Anyway, so that's it, Fernando.
stand by what I
I
said.
just thought it was
Keep going through the comments. What's the general consensus? Who do they think's gonna win? Like,
Inoue.
they think Inoue is gonna
And
win?
to be fair, as much as I know you're big on Fulton, we're going to come to that in a minute. I can see why people do make Inoue a heavy favourite. I mean, what's he, 3-weight world champion? One of those undisputed.
Yeah.
And his record is, let's be honest, man, it's exemplary. He's a massive puncher, okay? And Fulton isn't. And crucially, this fight is taking place in Japan. His home turf. And I think that when you get intangibles like that, you got to, I'm not saying that Fulton doesn't have a chance to win. He absolutely does. But I can absolutely see why people are making Inoue a firm favourite because people are looking at the highlight reel knockouts, and it's difficult to look past that. Even me as a big boxing fan that's been watching boxing for many years, you cannot help but be impressed when you see the way he's getting guys out of it. He doesn't even have to fully extend. He's just touching man and they're going. You know what I mean?
My only fear is the fact that it's in Japan. And I don't want to say fair because it's not like I overly want Fulton to win. I just like Fulton to be honest.
No, if you want Fulton to win, say it, bro. Because I want Fulton to win.
But
you know what I mean?
In all honesty,
doesn't mean he's gonna win, though.
In all honesty, the only thing I'm not really that cautious of the power too much because I don't know. It's an unknown. We don't know how that power translates to 122. Plus, we've seen Fulton fight big punches and take punches, and so we don't really know. I'm worried about the judges though because any close round we know who is going to. There's no way they're going to let, if it's a controversial fight, there's no way they're going to let Fulton leave with them belts.
Although, to be fair, you are right when you make that point about judges and so forth and home territories and stuff like that. But I remember before the Devin Haney-Lomachenko fight, and it's interesting because although Haney is the home fighter, I just felt that the whole boxing world, it seemed, wanted Lomachenko to win. And I remember saying to you guys that I think if it goes close, and then Lomachenko get the decision.
Went the other way though,
and
didn't
it went the other way. So
it was hotly contested as well.
It was.
It was. I think around the panel, everyone was pretty split. One
of the scorecards was way off.
Didn't you have it Lomachenko winning?
I had Lomachenko winning by 1 round. That's not the scorecard that was way off. By the way, that's the score. I see what you did there. They're very clever, but
it's slightly different because. And I don't think no one's mentioned this, which I feel like it's got to be mentioned. We saw Inoue go down the stretch against Donaire, and he didn't look good. When he went down in that latter rounds, he gave Donaire a lot in the first fight. He gave Nonito Donaire a lot of opportunities to capitalize because when you're an explosive fighter, you fight in spells. And normally when you hit someone with your money shot consecutively, it takes a lot of energy out of you. But if they're still there in the back end of the fight, they can really tee off. And it's about pacing yourself through the rounds. Let's be honest, Inoue is not experienced at that. He hasn't needed to because most of the time he's just cleaning guys out. So with this fight, when he's got against someone who's usually used to go in the distance, when it gets into deep water, who's going to be able to swim better? My money's always going to be on Fulton.
I think that's one of the things I'm thinking about with regards to it being in Japan. The crowd being behind him and the crowd pushing him in those later rounds when he's starting to fade and just trying to get him over the line.
It was in Japan against
Donaire as well.
So
I think with the Lomachenko and Haney, it was an interesting fight because number one, it wasn't a robbery because it was a close fight. To me, the use of the word robbery is very overused in boxing. Just because the decision didn't go the way you think it should have gone doesn't necessarily mean it's a robbery.
Do you think it was correct? Do you think it was the correct?
Yeah,
decision?
I think Haney won
the fight. Would you say a real robbery was Saturday just gone?
Yeah, I was going to come on to it. Robberies are when a fighter wins a fight by 3, 4, 5 rounds, and he gets shafted on the cards. And I think if anyone watched the fight on Saturday, which I did, I watched it live in the early hours of the Sunday morning. Maxi Hughes fighting George Kambosos. To me, Maxi Hughes was a clear winner. Mm-hmm. Clear winner. So I must admit, when the first scorecard come up, 114, I thought, here we go, they're going to stiff Maxi Hughes. Then when I heard the second card, 117, 111, before they said Kambosos, I thought, oh, right, he's got it right. He's going to go to Maxi Hughes. They said 117, 111, Kambosos. I was like, nah, man, come on. I was actually burst out laughing. Except for it wasn't funny. And then when that last judge, I was like, right, man, they've shafted Maxi. I felt so sorry for him, man, because he went out there, defended his IBO title, put the title on the line, and fought possibly a career-based performance, and he got shafted.
I heard, so I don't know if it's true, though, I heard that for the Inoue Fulton fight, though, there's 2 neutrals.
Yeah, but even that doesn't necessarily entail that it's going to be fair.
I'd rather it be 2 neutrals and 2 Japanese.
That sounds fair, but let's be honest, man. We've seen many instances over the years whereby so-called neutral judges turn in scorecards where you think they must have had that brown envelope under the door.
And they get affected by the crowd as well. So even a glancing shot, everyone cheers and it affects them.
You know what? Why it doesn't really bother me? Because it doesn't. If Fulton wins comfortably and he gets robbed, it doesn't really bother me because I still put a loss on your record. Like when Taylor lost to Catterall.
It should bother you.
The reason why I'm saying it, because automatically it diminishes your credibility in my eyes. If Fulton wins comfortably and he gets robbed,
He can take a moral victory, you're saying.
a loss on Inoue's
I'm
resume.
not sure if Steve Fulton will look at it like
Of
that
course
because that
not.
will affect his career going forward.
Of course not. But it's like Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor. Who genuinely believes Jack Catterall has a loss in his resume? No. If you ask 100 people, 100 people are going to say he just got robbed.
But it's not about you. It's the unfortunate thing that when people look back 20, 30 years from now, they're not going to be talking about individual fights and whether that was a robbery. They're just going to look blatantly wins, losses,
Fact.
title
I
defenses.
think James makes a
that
good
kind
point
of
because
thing.
let's be honest, man. Although we say it all the time, boxing should not be determined by their losses, but really and truly they are, aren't they? Boxing's one of those sports, man. The minute you get a loss on your record, everyone
You're
starts to look down on
What time
you.
does this fight
But
start?
that's why everyone tries
I
to
did say
stat
we were
pad their
running behind
resumes.
time.
Everyone tries to stat pad their resumes and go 30-0, 40-0 for that reason, because there's been such a long history of people doing that. Whereas you could look at maybe another sport like MMA, for example, where losses are more accepted and they're more common. Whereas in boxing, because there is such a taboo around the loss, you take one of them and all of a sudden people think you're done, you're never going to become a world champion. If you were a world champion, you're over the hill, your career's over. So that's why we're seeing so many people ducking fights and a lot of these big fights not being made. Well, Fury's already made himself world champion and is already still undefeated. But, I mean, it's an argument to be had that Fury is doing that as well.
An argument, man. I think it's pretty much set in stone that he's ducked Usyk.
When is this fight?
Ngannou will unfortunately probably be set in stone by the end of the fight, but that's
I'm hoping. What's it called? I'm hoping this fight can be done pretty quickly. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's Rosie Ramirez. He's a very talented fighter. He's going up against a 37-year-old Japanese guy whose name I can't pronounce. I think he's going to get him out of there. We hope so.
What time is this in Japan, by the way? What's the time zone difference?
It's 11:30 now.
Yeah, you're looking 20 odd hours difference.
It's not
20
odd
hours.
Well, 12 hours. It's in the evening there, isn't it?
If it's 24 hours difference, it'd be the same time, mate.
It's like
It's like an Australian timeline thing.
It's like 9 o'clock over there.
9 o'clock.
We're moving like we don't have iPhones. It's 7:30.
It's 7:30 over
Yeah.
there.
That's an early fight, I swear.
Well, the
Usually,
main event hasn't started. It could be.
No, but that's what I mean. But usually when we have fight cards over here, it starts at like 9:30.
We don't normally have it
degenerates
on Wednesday
they come
though,
in.
or
Yeah.
Tuesday. Do
Yeah.
we normally have
Yeah,
fights
that's
on a
true.
Tuesday?
You can't expect everyone to just fall in line with what the UK.
Oh, so this
Also,
is this is Monday evening for them or Tuesday evening?
Tuesday evening.
Tuesday
bro.
evening.
It is in the Far East,
Yeah.
the land of the rising sun.
And who will be the beast in the East tonight?
Well, according to Shane, it will be Fulton. Tell us a look. So, Shane, you're quite qualified to talk about Fulton because you've actually been out there in gyms and
you meet
seen
him?
him work.
He loves
I
his
met him
Philly
once,
fighters. This guy.
No, but one of my closest friends is from Philadelphia, so he always when I go Philly, and he's heavy, Jeff, so he's heavy into boxing.
Big up, Jeff.
How did you
G5
get in
TV.
contact with this Philadelphian guy?
Boxing, through boxing.
Oh, really?
I've always loved boxing. Like growing up, boxing is it's another sport that everyone watches football. The same thing with boxing for me. So obviously, I've just followed the different Philadelphia fighters. And growing up, I used to like Floyd and
Shimizu, his name. Satoshi Shimizu.
to honestly, I only liked American boxing growing up. Like my cousin only liked Andre Ward. That was his favorite fighter growing up. So me, I only loved American fighters. British fighters I didn't even care.
I think we can tell.
Exactly. So the moment I got opportunity to go out
You
there,
should probably say it. You should probably say what you think about British coaches.
the moment I got an opportunity to go to America, I went out there and I visited the gyms, and I did go to the gym that he trains in. And obviously, I met Bozienis.
Do you not think, though, just before you get to the Fulton thing, that that's a bit of a myopic stance to take?
What do you mean?
I only like American
I
fighters.
didn't only like
His-
American.
but
I said
when
when I was young, I
when
only
he's
liked
younger,
American
yeah.
boxing.
Okay.
But then I fell in love with Eastern European boxing as well. I just don't like English boxing. I just don't. This is not good for me. I just find it's a very, very low.
I know even boxing's quite a tribal sport because I had a similar thing for like Latin American fighters. the Central
Exactly,
American fighters.
exactly.
I like that style.
But even that I rate higher than British boxing.
Yeah.
I just think British boxing is just horrible.
Do you not think that British boxing, right, and I'm being serious now, we punch above our weight? weight when it terms. You think of a population of what, 60 odd million?
It's not just about population.
No, but let me finish. 60 odd million, and we do play a multitude of sports in this country.
Facts.
Right? So the fact that we've had so many world champions over the years, is that not a testimony to the skills, to the coaching,
how
to
much
the fighters?
money? I guarantee you, there's more money put in boxing
Grassroots.
in England than it is in Detroit, Philadelphia, Houston, Texas. Those kids out there, when you go to those gyms, they don't have the resources that AJ had when he was coming through the amateurs. They don't have the resources that who can I say, Josh Kelly had coming through, or Joshua Boatsi. These kids, like when I went there was people who, they're not even pro. I guarantee you they'll cook some of the pros in this country. I guarantee
I think there's a difference though with the amateurs coming through in England. Some of them do get a lot better facilities like AJ because they're part of the Olympic setup. If you're part of the Olympic setup and you're getting Olympic level coaching, that's funded by the national lottery, so you have a lot more funding through that.
100%.
Whereas not all people growing up in England or the UK come through that route. Some of them have to come through a lot of more poorer amateur gyms.
How many of them, like you're telling the truth, like Anthony Yard, for example, he didn't get that funding behind him, but how many of the British fighters translate to world champions? Let's keep it real.
No, come on now.
We're having a bit of a resurgence recently, though.
Wait. Majority of the people who turn and become world champion at some stage in their career had some form of promotional push or financial push, which you don't get. I'm telling you, just don't.
No, but
get.
what I'm saying,
Similar in football, like he's saying, like there's. In football, in England, you could be in an academy, or you could be playing for a Sunday league team and getting coaching from 7 or 8 years old, and then you'll see certain
boxing's completely different.
I understand, but we're talking about money in sport. We have a lot more funded. We'll see man like Alexis Sanchez come to Arsenal when he started off playing football in the street.
It's like saying,
I'm sorry, that is not. That's not one of your better ones.
I'm just saying, we have a lot more funding, even though it's 60 million people. There's a lot of money.
What I'm saying is right. Is that Shane, like, he's quite dismissive of British boxing
because they have nothing. They have nothing.
Okay, that's your stance, and you're sticking to it. Fair enough. But what I'm trying to put forward, the alternative argument, I'm saying for a relatively small country, like the
with
British
a lot of money, with a hell of a lot of money. Go on.
You take the floor.
Please continue.
Okay.
And you have to put the asterisk there. You can't just say a small
Well, at
country.
least let me land, and then you can, you know what I mean, come and sweep up the plane
I'm correcting
after.
you, but go on.
Right. So the point I'm trying to make is for a relatively small countries in the British Isles, we turn out a lot of very good boxers, good world champions, certainly compared to a lot of other countries in the world, including America. And if you talk about the amateur program, right, let's be honest, America, they've got a rich history in amateur boxing. However, in recent years, that slowed right up. I mean, the last gold medalist, male gold, not Clarissa Shields, last male gold medalist is actually Andre Ward back in 2004.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean, we've done better than them overall.
And how does that translate to the pros?
No, I'm just used that as an example.
There's a reason for that. You can't just make that statement. The reason why is because these kids are now turning pro at 18, 19. They get big $1 million contracts before you don't get paid in the amateurs in America. So therefore, I don't want to go to the Olympics. I want to become world champion. So they don't care about the Olympics. They genuinely don't. Like you got kids who's 17, 18.
So Keyshawn Davis didn't care about the amateurs.
But for every Keyshawn
Shakur Stevenson didn't care about.
For every Keyshawn Davis, for every Shakur Stevenson, you got Stephen Fulton, who becomes world champion and didn't even go to the Olympics.
All right, okay, so let's talk about the pros.
You got Jamal Charlo, you got Errol.
Yeah, so let's talk about the pros, okay? So do you not think that the American influence in terms of world champions and that is diminished over the years? Because at one point they used to absolutely run boxing. They don't anymore.
What I would say is other countries, not England, have improved around them. For example, Mexico's always been at the forefront. In my opinion, if you look at the quality, other than Tyson Fury, and this is my asterisk, other than Tyson Fury, you can't name me one English fighter who has an accomplished elite win on their resume right now against another world-class
Anthony
fighter.
Joshua.
If you talk about Anthony Joshua, wait, you just brought up Anthony Joshua.
Came through the Olympics.
He beat Klitschko.
Vladimir Klitschko?
Klitschko.
They both beat Klitschko.
Let's be honest. At that time,
No, I'm not going to. No, you're not going to do
no.
that. You're not
Bro,
going to do that.
there is-
You just asked
You
him
can't
for an
diminish him.
example.
Anthony
He gave you one, and now you're diminishing
Anthony
him.
Joshua
That's not a good
changed
one. That-
British boxing. There's been a massive resurgence over the
financially, 100%.
yeah, and it's given a lot of them a big push, and a lot of them have been doing good things.
There is no British fighter in the top
What,
20
right now?
Right now, in the top 15, you could even argue top 20 of the pound for pound list. None. There is none.
So
Tyson Fury.
to give this some numbers, this date is a little bit out of date 'cause it's from last year, but in the history of boxing, these are the countries with the most world champions. Number one is USA with 455 world champions. Obviously, they've got a massive population, about 350 million at the moment. Then Mexico, 153. They've got a population of about 125 million people.
And as well with Mexico, let's be honest. Boxing is one of their major sports.
Major sport.
We play a multitude of sports in this country. That needs to
Then
be-
the United Kingdom with 100 world champions.
There you go, see?
Population 65
See?
million.
There you go.
Then Japan, 82 with 125 million people, so another big population. Then number 5, which is probably more impressive than the UK, 48 world champions from Puerto Rico, and that's only a population of 3 million people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, Puerto Rico, with enough respect to Puerto Ricans, is by far their.
Yeah, of course.
I know they play
Just
baseball
talk-
to
just
high
talking
standards
about-
as well.
Yeah, just talking about countries punching above their weight.
I'm just going to end this conversation very comfortably and very quickly because you've got more important things to worry about than British crap boxing. So let's talk about more important things. But to end this conversation,
You're trying to get this show
but let's
cancelled.
keep it real. I want to be honest. Let's keep it real. When we look at the Terence Crawfords of the world, the Canelos, the Errol Spence, the Usyks, the Lomachenkos, when you look at that level of fighter, Floyd Mayweather.
So what about Lennox Lewis?
Amir
What about
Khan.
Joe Calzaghe?
Amir Khan.
His point.
I'm so glad you just said that.
His point,
How
if you're
can you-
saying Joe Calzaghe and Lennox Lewis, you have to go back 15
No, but
20
you were
years.
going back. You was mentioning
No,
man like
but-
Roy
but-
Jones
but-
and them,
You
man.
He's saying
just said there's a
when was the
resurgence.
last
No, I said
British
there's a
pound for
resurgence.
pound?
Of that list.
No, but what? No, hang on.
Bro, you said there's a resurgence. How can
I
there be
did-
a resurgence?
I did say a
I
resurgence.
said there was a
I didn't say
resurgence. I said there was a
resurgence.
resurgence.
One of you said there's a resurgence.
I said there
And
was a
me-
resurgence, and is there not? Has there not been?
If the only person that you can say,
Look at the heavyweight division.
One second. If the only person you can say of an elite level is Lennox Lewis and Joe Calzaghe, how is
No,
that?
but
a
they're
resurgence?
all-time great fighters.
Of the past. Name me one of those. that we
Tyson
current-
Fury.
Huh?
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah. Does he not count?
Okay. And then,
he's giving you-
but in
giving you-
America, I can
giving you
name you
one. He's
7,
saying he's
8,
giving you-
9, or
Yeah,
He said
listen,
name one.
listen.
In Mexico, I can give you 5,
Stop right
6, 7, 8.
there. Stop right there. I am not trying to say that the GB or UK or whatever you want to call it is on a par with America. I'm
Or
saying.
Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Or
All right, let me finish.
or
Can I land?
Mexico.
Let
Go
me
on.
land. So what I'm saying is that you were quite outspoken. British boxing is trash. That's where you're coming
In
from.
comparison.
Right.
In comparison.
And I'm saying that I'm disagreeing because I'm saying for a relatively small country that plays a multitude of different sports where, let's face it, if you're athletic, you've got so many different options. Yeah. Whereas some countries, most of their athletes tend to play one particular sport. Like Mexico, for example,
Fact.
boxing dominated.
Facts.
Yeah. And football, yes, but it's mainly boxing. In this country, in the British Isles, there's so many different sports.
That doesn't mean
So
anything.
it
though.
does mean something. So
Not
what?
really.
It does.
You have to take into account as well. You're saying that you can name, just playing devil's advocate. You're saying you can, for one Tyson Fury, you can name
10
but
elite fighters.
They have
in
they have 5 times the population that we do. So you would expect like a 5 or 6 to 1 ratio
but
anyway.
No, but the reason why when I'm saying this, I'm saying in comparison. When I have the option to watch British boxing or American boxing, I watch British boxing as well. But I'm always going to tell you that in comparison, it falls very, very short. And if you want to say they have multiple sports, so does America. So does America. So it doesn't make a difference. But when you look at a real resurgence, even when you look at the real pinnacle, like Ukrainians, when they have like the Klitschko brothers, Usyk, Lomachenko, Voltic, those fighters, when you look at the level that they reach, especially Lomachenko, Usyk, and the Klitschko
era of
brothers,
dominance.
when you look at how high they reach, their peak is higher than anywhere the current British boxing is anywhere near. Like we're nowhere near.
I will say British boxing. The issue I have, I enjoy British, but I'm not as critical as Shane. But it lacks a bit of an
No one
identity.
is.
Yeah, it's true. But it does lack a bit of an identity, like you said, when you're talking about the Ukrainian boxers, where The Klitschko's
Or
had a set. The
Mexicans.
Klitschko's had a set style. Even if you find it boring, then the new Ukrainian
It's
fighters
also
have a set
it's also
style.
important to remember that a lot of these things that go through what I call cycles. So
Yeah.
you will get cycles whereby countries produce a kind of a group of fighters. You think, wow,
Facts.
and then it will tail off into the next.
So
And I
when
think you're
was the
kind of
last-
seeing that with British
When
fighters.
was the last British great cycle?
Well, we're looking at it right now.
With
We're
who?
looking at
With
it.
you?
It's
You
starting
named
to
one-
build
you-
through. No, but it's starting to come through off the back of that.
Okay, maybe you didn't hear me. With who?
Like I said, it's starting to come through. We've got a great crop
He's
of
putting on
young
the spot.
fighters. We're looking at
Names,
fighters
bro,
like Conor Ben.
names.
Conor Ben, mate. Future champ. Conor Ben.
That's not a good example.
I'll tell you.
That's a good
I'll take-
example.
I'm getting a coffee.
Now, look, what I'm going to say though, what
him a
you're
double
looking
espresso.
at, what you're looking at the elite of the elite. But just underneath
That's
that,
what
if
we're
you're
talking
talking world-class fighters that are still champions, you're not putting enough respect on the Tony Bellews, the David Hayes, these kind of
No,
people
but
that
I asked you, I
might
said
not
who
hurt.
now? Who now?
No,
I
but
asked
I'm
him
saying a
first
different
when
argument.
the last great era was, and he said now, and then you've
No,
got yourself
no.
into this
I
problem.
wouldn't say that this era is.
No, I said it could be turning into one off the back
That's not
of
why I
the
asked you.
thing.
My question was, when you got Laurie said it goes in cycles, so I said
Yeah.
based on cycles, when was the last cycle of great British boxing? When was that cycle?
What is in dominated the entire sport?
Not necessarily
Not
dominating.
the entire
Just
sport, but you can name me 5 or 10 fighters that were like
let me answer that,
world-class
let me
fighters.
answer that.
No, their argument is for British boxing, so let them.
no, but there
answer.
was a period
but I'm
not
not
too
saying
long
that we
ago
have
when we had
dominated like
several
that.
world champions.
Facts. There
And
was.
I'm asking.
Yeah, I
When you
remember.
had like Billy Joe
Yeah,
Saunders,
Liam Smith, Callum Smith,
Tony
Joshua was champion at the time. Yeah.
That's
so
what I mean.
that-
That's what I mean. This generation.
But that's not just.
But it is.
How much of those fighters are still
They're
fighting?
retired.
Most of them aren't even world champions anymore. That's not this generation. That was a previous
So
generation.
I've just given you, but it's not now. I'm saying that it goes in cycles. So
Of course.
not now.
No, but my biggest grievance was the fact that you guys are saying, not you, as I'm a fan that is James, that there's a resurgence. I want to know, how can you tell me that there's a resurgence when none of you can name? You said Conor Ben, bro. Like literally, let's
Yeah.
keep it real. That's your,
I think he will be.
Bro, if you look at the welterweights right now with like the Stanionis, Boots, and Virgil, he ain't on that level.
I'm not calling it. I'm not saying
So
that we're
therefore-
on the level of America. I just
so-
think you're being disingenuous
so
by the way that you're
therefore,
talking about
you-
British
I
I
boxing.
think you give British boxing a hard time.
I got
Bad
high
rap.
standards, bro.
I think you're a little bit. I do think you're a bit harsh. It's like-
I grew up watching
'Cause
Andre Wood and Floyd
you were
Mayweather.
the same man who said that there's not one good British trainer. And
I know, and I never said that.
I think
never
you
said
did.
not one
I think
good
you did.
because I've always rated Mark.
said you
Tibbs.
don't rate him.
I've always rated Mark Tibbs. So
Do you rate Shane McGuigan?
Changing his tune.
No, I said I don't rate them that highly in comparison.
No. What you said off camera is they're all useless, and then we came on camera. And you're like,
No.
well, I don't think I rate them quite as highly as these Philly
I publicly
dons.
said that if you're a British fighter, and I'm looking in the camera when I say this, you're a British fighter, find yourself an American trainer because they are significantly better than everyone in this country, and I will live and die by that. That's what I'll live and
Is
die
that because
by.
you've been to?
I've been
the
gyms
Philly
in England
gyms,
as
yeah?
well, bro. I've been more gyms in England than I've
No,
been in
I'm
America.
not. I'm not diminishing what you say. I'm saying is that because you've been to.
I've been both
gyms in both this
exactly,
country. Yeah,
and
okay.
not just that. We've seen that our best fighters, our so-called best fighters, go and employ an American coach. Why? Because they are better. There's no.
But why-
listen,
but
I'm
what- as someone that's been to those
I'm
gyms-
actually agreeing with you. Again, I do think you're overstating the point. But I do agree with you. I mean, even our boy Dan Aziz, shout out to Dan Aziz, he's gone and got himself an American trainer. Dylan White,
Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, all of those guys.
But what would you say is the big difference? As someone that's been to those gyms here and has probably got a lot of experience in British gyms, what's the one key fundamental difference?
AJ brought it up the other day, which he said when he goes to the gym, when he used to go to the gym before, it was him in the gym and everybody there was working to improve him. So you had the coach there and then he had different fighters there who were working to improve him. Obviously, it's his camp. So that's how it worked. When you would go to America, I remember when I went Boots. Boots was in camp, but there was other guys in the gym and Bozy was there. Bro, Bozy's the head of the gym, not
Yeah, but
Anthony.
Bozy's not his trainer.
Bozy's Ennis is.
Oh, Boots. Sorry, I thought it was the same. Fulton.
Bozy's the head of the gym. So when he speaks, only he's the one in charge. When Anthony Joshua's in camp, Anthony Joshua says it himself. He was the one in charge. How could you be ahead of your coach? You're the only one in charge, and that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, but Anthony Joshua also said recently that he never learned anything from Robert Garcia.
I don't rate Robert Garcia that highly neither.
What I've seen from boxing in British gyms, and I've boxed in British gyms with
Facts.
Americans. I've never boxed in American gyms, but what I've seen is that.
You've never been to America?
I have when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, look, you're trying to take this somewhere else. We've got to find look, brother, just relax.
Let's go.
Relax. Come and speak the plane in a bit, innit? So, what I will say is what I've seen in British gyms is that if somebody has a particular skill, if they're a knockout artist, if they've got speed or something like that, the British coaches tend to hone in on that one particular skill. And a lot of the American coaches try to make their boxers much more well-rounded, based around fundamentals.
I would agree with that.
That's why we saw someone like Josh Kelly. He was slick and he was quick, and they allowed him to just be slick and quick. Never addressed the defensive problems, never addressed some of the other issues, and then he's come unstuck when he goes up a level. And that's probably one of that is a general statement. I've spent more time obviously boxing in Britain, but that's probably the key difference that I've seen.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Remember when we saw Anthony Yard, and thank you very much for Tunde Ajayi and Anthony Yard for being in their gym. Anthony Yard was the only person who I've ever been in the gym with, who I've seen, where the person in charge is Tunde. Every other gym, I swear, when I went to the, and I don't want to, no disrespect to the Ingle gym, when I went to the Ingle gym, yeah, at that time there was a fight, I'm not going to say their name, they were in charge. There wasn't anyone else in charge. They were the ones.
Rosie Ramirez, by the way, is having his way with this Japanese fighter. The Japanese guy is tough, Shinzu, but Rosie Ramirez is...
So do you think Tyson Fury runs his camps, or do you think it's Sugar Hill?
Well, this is the thing. We're seeing friction at the moment, but if you look at the way Tyson Fury fights, he's definitely adopted the Sugar Hill style, and the only way you can do that is by listening and following the instructions. And at the end of the day, Tyson Fury for me is an exception. For all the criticism of Tyson Fury, his mindset and his ability and understanding of boxing, we can't compare that to anybody else in this country.
No, but you're saying the difference with... You're talking about American coaches, and the main difference being the authority that they hold over the fighters. Do you think that they have...
individual talent,
you can't use him as an example.
He's such an individual talent.
If you were to get every British fighter to follow Tyson Fury route, 99% of them will fall short.
Are there any British coaches that you rate?
I rate Mark Tibbs. I do think Shane McGuigan is good. I do think he's overrated though.
I like Shane McGuigan.
You don't rate Adam Booth then?
When he first came out and he had like David Hay and Groves, I did like the style that he was going with, but now it's more about flamboyance and less fundamentals, and I'm not really liking that direction. Who else is there in this country?
Don Charles? What's wrong with Don Charles?
I used to like. I thought Dave Cole.
He won't answer the question.
I thought Dave Cole. Don Charles is someone who will ride with you. He's gonna be there in the trenches with you. But in terms of actual coaching,
Floyd Mayweather Senior.
Dave Caldwell done a very good job with Tony Belly. I thought he done a terrific job with Tony Belly. He improved him, especially when he moved him to 175 to cruiserweight. He done a very good job.
What about Joe McNally, who trained some of the Liverpool fighters? He's gaining a good reputation.
And I mean, people talk about the Gallagher gym as well. I went there once. Less said about that, the better.
No, can't tell the people, man.
I mean, personally,
you've got experience of going there.
Personally, they don't focus enough on defense for me. So therefore, it's no coincidence that since Callum Smith's gone over to Buddy McGirt, bro, this guy's been icing dudes out. Like, these just look terrific. Again, when you get yourself an American coach.
Actually, you know what? It's a good topic for conversation. People watching the show, let us know what you think. Do you think that British boxing, as I suggested, is possibly overachieving given the size of the country and the fact that there's so many sports that we engage in? Or do you agree with Shane that British boxing at the moment is in a pretty parlous state, and Shane does not rate British trainers? I think he does make a point about, certainly my experience boxing as an amateur in this country and going around pro gyms, that there does tend to be in this country a preoccupation on getting guys fit and strong rather than learning some of the defensive nuances of the game. I would definitely say that. That's been my experience. But I do think there are some very good trainers here, and I touched on it. Shane McGuigan, Dave Caldwell, Joe McNally.
Are there any
Adam
trainers
Booth
in Britain that you think are good defensive
Don Charles.
trainers?
That focus on defense.
Any good defensive trainers?
One of the reasons why I said Mark Tibbs is because Mark Tibbs is another one. He focuses on high guard and having a really... One thing I saw when Dylan was training with Mark Tibbs and Riakpo was they improved their ability to block shots, and that's why I like him. I actually genuinely saw effort to.
Ben Davison's another one. I think he's a good coach. He gets a lot of criticism.
Ben Davison's actually a good coach. Ben Davison's a good coach.
But again,
A lot of people come at Ben Davison because he's got a certain
overshadowed by,
personality. People
you know.
think he's a bit arrogant.
Yeah,
But I think he is a good
He's
coach.
a good coach, though.
I
He's a
think
good coach.
because also a lot of people look at the way that John Fury blasted him. Very
No one
early
takes
on.
John
John
Fury.
Fury-
Nah, but it did.
The only
kinda,
person
it
that
took
takes John
stock.
Fury is you.
No, what
No
do
one
you mean
has.
me? I'm saying that did a lot of harm to his public stock.
Trust me when I
did.
tell you, no one
No
don't
one-
take John Fury serious.
No, but I'm saying that
Apart
kind
from
of thing.
Gareth A.
must have
Davis, and that probably tells you as much as you need
But
to know
bring
about
it back
Gareth.
to Fulton, because that's where we actually started. I think your question was, I was qualified to talk about because I've seen.
Yeah, because you've seen it up close and personal in the gym. Tell us what you liked about him when you saw it.
I think it's just again, when you're speaking about the fundamentals, that's one of the things they learn from a child. And if you look at someone under fire like Anthony Joshua, you see an element of panic. When these guys are under attack, they have this level of calm where they just sit there and just stand in the pocket, catch, hold, and they know how to ride the wave. They know how to basically go through the water without getting wet. They're just so slick.
Jamie Moore, another one in the comment. That's a good shout.
Yeah.
He's a good coach.
He's not bad. He's not a bad coach.
No, he's a good coach. Come on. He's done some good work, man. I mean, your favourite fighter, Chantel Cameron. Jamie Moore coaches her.
I thought, you know what? True. I'll take that back.
He
He's a good
coaches
coach.
Jack Catterall as well.
He's a good coach.
Yeah.
I'll take that back. He's a good coach. But yeah, he's those skills that you have. It's just through hours and time and time.
Peter
of
Fury?
Nutrition.
Coach Tyson Fury
See,
to
he's changing his mind now.
I don't.
So now
rate,
you-
I don't
now
rate
you're-
Peter Fury
now
that
I'm throwing the
highly.
names
I
out
don't
there,
rate-
he's
I
starting
don't
to-
rate Peter Fury that
But you
highly.
don't rate what he did with Tyson?
I thought. Again, you keep bringing Tyson Fury.
Tyson's an
I think
individual
Tyson
exception.
Fury.
Yeah, but early on,
I
different
think
story
Tyson
though.
Fury could coach himself and be a world class fighter. That's how great I think. Even though I criticize him, I think you have people who are great fighters, and you have
Billy Nelson coaches Martin Bacoli.
Floyd Mayweather. I mean, like Chris
Billy
Eubank
Nelson-
Senior.
Billy Nelson is probably responsible for one of the worst bit of corner instructions I've ever seen in my life. When Bacoli fought Michael Hunter and he dislocated his shoulder, Martin Bacoli said, "I can't continue." He's like, "No, you gotta go out. You gotta go out." And he sent him out to fight another round. That's the worst form of. I've never seen it. You're not thinking about your fighter's protection there. So
Only certain fighters can fight with one arm in it, like George Groves
yeah,
fighting.
yeah.
Chris Eubank.
Chris Eubank.
Easily.
Now, let's not forget Danny Williams, one of the greatest come from behind wins ever. He had his shoulder was actually out.
Oh yeah.
And he come from
And
behind
he-
the win.
That is probably
What
one of the
about Rob
maddest clips I've ever
McCracken?
seen.
Yeah.
Now, Rob
I'm
McCracken's
so
an interesting one
vexed,
because
you know.
he's done it as an amateur and pro.
You know, I'm vexed with Robert McCracken situation because I could have saved Anthony Joshua 5 years of his career. I promise you. I swear. I was telling
That's a
people
big
this
statement.
time. No, I was telling people this time ago. Robert McCracken does not teach defense. The reason why Robert McCracken is
You're
successful,
going to allude to Carl Froch's nose.
bro, Carl Froch, yeah. The reason why he was successful was because he had a good chin. But he had no defense. He was just
Very,
another
very
Joe.
good.
He was just another Joe Joyce. That's literally what he didn't teach
Oh,
defense.
come
Bro,
on.
when I mean he didn't have, when he's another Joe Joyce, he didn't have no defense. What defensive
Yeah,
attribute
same
did?
similar style.
What defensive
Much better.
attribute did Carl Froch have? I've never seen him duck or slip or slide.
Yeah, he's not the greatest boxer, but he did achieve a lot.
With a tremendous chin. He
No,
wasn't-
but no. You can't do what
Ramirez
Carl
put
Froch
his
has
man
done.
down.
I've asked the
Put his man down
question:
round 5.
what does Robert McCracken teach in defense? And I said this
shit.
before Anthony Joshua.
That broken nose, maybe.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
broken.
He looks like he's ready.
Gushing blood.
He looks like he's ready to
It's
be
over.
taken out.
It's over.
Yeah, clearly his coach isn't teaching enough defense, I'd say.
Definitely not. That won't be.
Must have a
Fulton
British
today.
coach.
The referee's got to start.
Oh,
He has
it's
now.
over.
That won't be Fulton today. Let's put it that way.
I wonder how much.
This Japanese guy that he was fighting, though, Shimizu, looked very limited. He was
he did.
tall and game, but he didn't really have much in the way of offense. Now, Robsy Ramirez is a very interesting fighter because this is a guy that's very talented. He's from the Cuban school. He actually beat Shakur Stevenson in the Rio
amateurs,
Olympic
yeah.
final. It was pretty controversial at the time, but I thought he did enough to get the win. And here he is now, doing very well as a pro champion.
He's in a good weight class as well.
Yeah.
Lee Wood's in that weight class as well.
Yeah. And he's one of those Cuban boxers that's altered his style. So he's quite aggressive, and that suits the pro style a bit more.
Yeah.
Some of the Cuban fighters,
they're a bit passive.
I was going to ask you a question.
some of the Cuban fighters have tried to take their amateur style into the pros. It works up to a point, but professional boxing, I think we all agree, is a little bit different.
Laurie, did you in this? They said Ray Vargas was champion, but didn't he just lose to old Shaq Foster?
Yeah, he did.
So I don't know how he's still champion.
I don't know. I think Shaki Foster's. He's been calling out. Who's he been calling out? He's Joe Cordina. Yeah. So that'd be a good fight.
I
if they
wonder,
can make it.
maybe he was at a different weight class.
But Shimzu's been stopped, which means that we're nearer to the main event. Good performance there by Robes de Ramirez. Good fighter, can punch with both hands. Yeah, he's got a very good future ahead of him.
Trust me.
I do also wonder how much, just with the difference between British boxing and other boxing, I wonder how much everybody wants to make money, but Britain being particularly money focused, then focuses even more on the highlight reel knockouts, the aggressive
Instead of defense.
instead of the defense, instead of the fundamentals, instead of the stuff that people might see as a little bit dry and boring.
It's a good point, because I remember when there was a lot of stock being invested into Dubois, and people was just looking at the knockouts.
Yeah.
And I immediately just thought, this guy just can't defend himself.
Yeah.
He just has no defense. So I feel like the general public, and what I will say is, for all Britain's shortcomings, we 1,000,000% have the best fans. 1,000,000% have the best fans.
Trying to get him back on his side. Like.
No, we do though.
No, he is right
We
about
do,
that.
and
Yeah, he is
I
right about
think
that.
it's the blindness that's why we're so good, because we actually don't see the deficiency.
No, but you see what you just said there about fans. I think it's fair to say that carries over into many other sports, not just boxing, football, cricket, tennis. I mean, look at cricket, for example.
Barmy Army.
They will that's how they got the name, the Barmy Army, because they would literally follow England across the world when they were getting spanked by the likes of West Indies, Australia, India, and the list goes on. And they would support them to the very end. And that's what British fans do.
I think that's also the benefit of having a smaller population, especially over a smaller size. In America, you've got so many different teams, so many different sports, so many different things going on at the same time in different states. And there's like 5 different mega things going on. You've got the Super Bowl here, you've got a big NBA game here, a big NFL game. So many different things that it fractures the audience. With England, if there's a big event going on, if there's a big fight going on, everybody in the nation is tuning in to see it. Everyone's behind their guy.
When Tyson Fury was on his hiatus and it was just AJ, it was the AJ show. Now there's both of them. Well, AJ's on his decline, I would say, but that's controversial. But now AJ's not world champion anymore and it's Tyson Fury, and they're both sort of fighting actively. The fan base is very split between the two champions, whereas everyone was on AJ at the time because he was the only guy.
But if one of them is fighting, though, everyone's still watching it. Everyone's still behind them.
100%, yeah.
And like, if one of them goes abroad and fights an American, for example, they forget the divide that they have between them, and they will all entirely get on one person.
The fight's not starting at 12. I'm assuming.
When's it start? That's 12 now. Yeah,
it's 12 now. Hoping in.
I think one of the things as well with what Laurie was saying about boxing isn't necessarily it's a big sport here, but in other countries it's a main sport, and so a lot of those other countries have maybe a slightly more educated audience and fan base, and then as a result, like you said, they can see people.
Like who? I think that's a big statement.
I think if you're saying that somewhere like Puerto Rico has 3 million people and boxing is the main sport in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but why are you going to logically extend that they've got a more intelligent audience?
Yeah, I think DR Sports audience are very intelligent.
DR Sports audience is global. A lot of them could be from Puerto Rico.
Disingenuous
I do know where you're coming from.
What I'm saying is, if that's the main sport that they follow, that's going to have they're naturally going to be more educated on that sport than a population that follows 100 different sports.
But I feel like it's also a case of, like, I'll give you an example. Jamaica, population of about 2 million, but we always produce top sprinters, and obviously that's down to genetics.
No, but I would say that in Jamaica they punch above their weight in several sports.
No, of course, but I'm just saying, of course, but in the situation of being the top at a sport and having a low population, obviously that's genetics, but it's also the fact that the attitude towards athletics in Jamaica is so much different than it is in England.
Okay.
Like, you have a school event, there's like 20,000 people there. There's no 20,000 people going to watch
on YouTube.
Watch a local sports day.
On YouTube,
No way.
I watch the under 18s and the under 16s sprint in Jamaica. It's all on YouTube. It's like quite
Literally.
official. Gets thousands of views. It's crazy.
We ain't doing that
Meanwhile,
for-
we've got flipping egg and spoon races going on.
But genuinely, that's the difference. There's a cultural difference,
Trust.
is what I'm trying to say, for some of these sports versus in England, like you said, where they're going to get roped in by a big guy, big puncher, heavyweight,
Facts.
big puncher and all the rest
You
of
got
it.
a good crowd though. That's a really good.
That's a very, but you have to remember that Inoue is a massive star out in Japan. That should not be underestimated. Whilst we're talking about Inoue, there was a little bit of controversy, well, more than just a little bit, in the lead up to this fight, and I wanted to get your views on it. Hand wraps, stacking as it's called. The Stephen Fulton's trainer, his name is Wally, I forget his surname, you might know. You're Philly.
This is his head coach.
Yeah.
His head coach said it.
Yeah, he was the one who
Seriously?
brought it up. So he brought up the issue of Inoue's hand wraps, which he said was illegal. And basically what he's saying is what Inoue does, which is against most commission's rules, is to what they call stack, which is where when they're wrapping his hands, they put a layer of tape on the bare skin, on the bare knuckle, apply that, then they put a gauze over that, then they put more tape, then they put the gauze on top of that and extra tape again. So, and when that hardens, it almost becomes like a cast.
Yep.
They brought that issue to light, and Inoue said, look, man, this is the way I do it. I'm not breaking any rules. Japan's commission's okay with it. I've even fought in America. They're okay with it. What's the big problem? Now, a lot of people have had lots to say on the issue. I saw an interview with Tim Bradley, former world champion, Hall of Famer, now successful broadcaster. He was very adamant that it's against the rules, it should not be allowed. He was saying that what that does when you double stack like that, it creates a cast and it gives the boxer an unfair advantage. Something that I do agree with, actually. Having boxed myself, I know the importance of wrapping your hands or having proper bandages done properly, because otherwise it does confer on people a big advantage. So the upshot of all this now is that apparently Inoue's agreed to not wrap his hands in that way. So I think the Fulton team are right to raise it.
I respect Inoue for actually changing that, because if it's not against the rules and he's doing it that way, then...
Well, to be fair, Fulton's team said that if he does that, they're not going to fight. So,
fair enough.
And they said that they were adamant they were going to...
But it's also, like, I know why it's so significant is because Inoue's such a big puncher. So the more
Throws into
protection,
question.
again, exactly, the more protection, the more... this obviously, if the wraps are loaded, then obviously you're not going to want... It's just going to just increase your punch power. But I'm surprised. I didn't even expect. I didn't know which coach it was.
So it was quite a big talking point before the fight, and a lot of people accuse Fulton and his team of making excuses. But I don't agree. I think, listen, if it's transgressing the rules or it's transgressing...
But is it though? Because he said he wasn't breaking any rules. He said he's fought in America and they allowed it.
It's
the
weird
commissions
because
allow it.
for any boxing match, even when I was fighting, any boxing match, even in the amateurs, your coach inspects the hand wrapping process. So I don't know how something like that would... Obviously, we know the famous Margarito story of what he was doing.
This man was putting cement in it.
Yeah, he was putting things in his hand wraps to make it solid and stuff like that. And I think there is I think it's both sides. I think obviously, they want the fight to be as fair as possible. You don't want to, even if it is something that's not against necessarily the rules or certain commission's rules, we don't want to put fighters' lives and brains in danger and stuff like that if they're going to harden over the fight. But I also think that there could be some gameship there from Fulton's camp, because they are fighting away and they will want to disrupt his rhythm as much as possible. I think that's perfectly fair game as well. The fight starts as soon as the fight's announced. The fight has already started.
Sometimes before.
Yeah, so
Sometimes before.
anything that we can do to rattle you.
You raised an interesting point about the gamesmanship as well. I think it's a double entendre, isn't it? So they've raised that very serious issue about...
His name's Raheem. Wahid Raheem. That's what you're talking about. That's his head coach.
So he raised
Radio
that
Raheem.
about the hand wraps, which I think in itself is a legitimate complaint.
Yes.
And secondly, like you said, Nick, quite rightly, if you raise that a couple of days before the fight, get under Inoue's skin a little bit, it also helps in that regard. So, yeah, listen, man, I think they were more than within their rights to raise it. And all these people are saying, just get on with it, stop complaining. No, because I think, okay, as James has said, maybe he's not breaking rules in Japan, but we all know that Inoue is a superstar in Japan.
No, but he
pretty
said
much
he's
gets
come
away with
over
what he
to
wants.
America and done it. And I think this is a problem. You've got so many, even in America, you've got so many different commissions, so many different states that there isn't one set rule for things, which just makes everything overly confusing. I do think it is probably a little bit of nitpicking from Fulton's end, like you said, trying to get a little bit of edge over him. But we see it with fighters all the time. It's not just with double stacking, but with the way that they take certain things out of their gloves to try and dig the knuckles in. Everyone tries to get a little bit of an advantage here and there. So I don't think it's too big of a deal. I think maybe it's been blown up out of proportion, and if he doesn't manage to knock him out, people are going to, you might hear people start saying, without the double stacking, does he have the power? But I don't read too much into it. I think it's a bit of gamesmanship, and I think it's just him leveraging his power as a champ. I think if it's the other way around and Inoue was defending the belt, or if he wins and he has a rematch, then I think he will go back to doing what he's always done.
That's a good point. Is there a rematch clause for this fight?
I would imagine there is. I've not heard of
if
one.
there's reasonable things, so if he gets a decision win,
most champions nowadays are going to have rematch clauses in their contracts, because let's face it, in boxing anything could happen. Inoue could go out there and in the first round throw a right hand and his shoulder pops up. You know what I mean?
Do you guys think it's right that there's a lot of rematch clauses, or
I don't
do you think
really
it
like
holds up
rematch
divisions?
clauses. No.
Me neither. You know what I was gonna say though, which I find interesting. We obviously, Fulton being with PBC, Inoue being with Top Rank. You rarely see PBC allow their fighters to go on another platform.
That's true.
So he must be getting paid a good.
Oh, he's getting a bag for this. Because let's face it, he didn't have to go to Japan.
Not at all.
He's also the champion, the unified champion.
But also, is Fulton like a pay-per-view star? Like, even though he's not, do you know what I mean? So even though he doesn't have to, he's not commanding that type of big payday.
That's true.
Off his own steam. So,
and fair play to him, he's obviously gone there thinking he can beat Inoue. I'm sure he's not just turning up for the payday. That's not their.
But he's probably a slightly better boxer, plus has all the physical advantages. So he's got to be confident.
But then.
Yeah, but a lot of fighters will not, especially American fighters, they don't travel.
Yeah, but they're not. Yeah,
very
they're not
few of them
super
travel,
traveling
man.
people. Yeah.
Maybe it's the Muslim ones, because Devin Haney travelled and Fulton's Muslim as well. So maybe.
Well, Errol Spence travelled. He's not Muslim.
True.
I mean, to be fair, they are traveling a lot to get to other fights in America. I mean, those are long-ass journeys in them of themselves, depending on which state you're flying to. So. I think, again, because it's so big.
While we're waiting for the main event to start, we're just watching a little bit of Inoue in his fight against Paul Butler.
Hoping this fight starts now.
Yeah, he should fight soon.
This is the thing. I don't like how long they take. There's so much padding in between these fights. Like, it should just be one fight. It's finished.
Is that how it is in
roll
UFC?
The tape. The UFC, you have an event. It's condensed. The actual main card will be condensed into like 2 hours. You'll have the fight. You'll have the post-match interview in the octagon. As they're walking away, bang. They'll roll a promo video for the next fight. And every single fight has a promo video. It has a little documentary backstory. They'll roll that for 5 minutes. Fighters are coming in. 5 minutes later, after the next fight, fighters coming in. With these, you're just seeing too much padding with the events. Certain events roll quickly, that you'll see. Like, even when we went to the York Hall Boxer event, it was rolling through quite quickly.
That's
but
what I'm trying to check.
We were told that the ringwork was going to be at 11:30 initially. So we're well behind time.
That's what I mean. It's too much padding. There's too much nonsense going on.
Talking of UFC, let me ask you. We've spoken about Ngannou and Fury. I don't want to really go there anymore. We've had a lot to say on that. But Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul's coming up.
Oh, big fight, mega fight.
You must be looking forward to that. Was that August 5th? Isn't it?
It's taken with the promotion and everything. It has taken a little bit. It's died down a little bit, especially after Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury. I think there's been a lot of steam out of that. A lot of the thing that everybody wanted to see was Jake Paul lose. Now that he has lost, the shine of this fight has kind of been taken away. Nate Diaz, a lot of people have seen a lot of his boxing footage coming out, and whilst I would argue I've heard a lot of things behind the scenes,
we should get Shane to critique
a very good Western boxer, but
he's one of the worst I've seen.
He's not very slick.
Nate Diaz.
And Nate Diaz, especially coming towards the end of his career, we've seen it before. We've seen the way that Jake Paul was even to beat able to beat Anderson Silva, who was always a better striker than someone like Nate Diaz was. Nate Diaz, again, the naturally smaller guy. I think this is just going to be another walkover for Jake Paul, unfortunately.
Do you think this YouTuber influencer boxing has reduced and the steam and enthusiasm
taken away from professional boxing?
No, I know has reduced since Jake Paul's lost to Tommy Fury.
I think he got exposed.
I think it has. I think it has, because the main thing everyone was waiting to see is Jake Paul lose, and will KSI manage to be the one to dethrone?
No, shall I tell you what a lot of people like myself were waiting to see was that he kept running his mouth and saying he could fight. I remember one time he was calling out Canelo. Remember?
Yeah.
He said in 2 years
He still is calling out
So
Canelo.
everybody wanted to see what would happen when he fought a boxer. Okay.
Yeah.
And he picked on Tommy Fury. Let's face it.
He's not really
These
a
guys
boxer.
will tell you he's not really. He's half in, half
Oh,
out.
he's had the
He's
most
not a-
stat padded record I've ever seen out of any.
So he's not
professional.
going anywhere as I think we all know.
I mean,
He's
to
not
call
going
the
anywhere
way
as a
he
professional
goes on
fighter.
about being like an elite professional and that he's going to be a future world champ. You can see it in his face, the way he's celebrating after beating a YouTuber, former Disney Channel guy who's been boxing for about 5 years. Someone like Tommy Fury should have been wiping the floor with him. You edged your way to a decision and got put down in the 8th round.
So that's what I was going to
So-
say. Everyone was waiting for him to fight a boxer. He then fights a boxer, loses. Okay, you could argue that he did okay, given the fact that he'd never fought a proper professional fighter. Because some of those guys he'd been fighting, man. I mean, Anderson Silva. Who was the other guys?
It was a big fight, man.
No, but the other
Ben
two.
Askren was
Ben Askren. I mean, listen, man, you would have
was a
beat
bit of a
Tyron
close fight.
Woodley.
Tyron Woodley fights were good.
Tyron Woodley was finished, man.
No, but it was good. He was building up through, and he was slowly going through against people that were
To me, the Tyron Woodley-
accomplished champions in combat
listen.
sports.
We don't care. We're boxing.
The Tyron
fans.
Woodley
Them
win,
man
trust me.
man can't box.
I wasn't giving him-
All we're talking about is the box. All we're talking about is the
but
boxing
he's
aspect
talking,
of it.
yeah, but
We're
I'm talking about
just in the terms of the
but for
boxing
his,
aspect.
no, but for him, it's a guy who's never
I don't
boxed
care
and
about
he's
him
been
and his
fighting
money.
for
His
3
money's not in
years.
my bank account.
Yeah, that's what we're
Do you know what I'm
talking
saying?
about.
No,
We're
but I'm
talking
saying-
about a
we're talking about
different
the boxing
topic, man.
aspect.
We're
Them
not
man
talking about
can't
the
box.
boxing aspect. He said, has there been interest taken away since he fought quote unquote
he
actual
lost to a
boxer and
boxer,
lost?
yeah. He lost to a
Yeah,
low-level
and there has
boxer.
been a lot of a shine to
Very
it
low
because
level.
he was using the Floyd
Very low
Mayweather
level.
marketing strategy of chatting a load of shit and then people.
But what
went
I
from
think
that.
is interesting about that,
Floyd used
since
to
he
chat
lost
shit
to
and
Tommy
win.
Fury, this is the point
Exactly, I
I was
said
going to make.
his marketing strategy, and
point I was
it
gonna
hasn't
make
worked
was-
as well for him.
The point I was going to make was, since he lost to Tommy Fury, now he's gone back to fighting old MMA fighters.
Oh
That's-
yeah, no,
that's
that's
his
what I
level.
mean.
So I think he's been exposed.
No, that's
hasn't
exactly what I said. No, yeah, he has, and that's why
It's a shame
it would have
he's
been
right,
nice. It
that
would have been
it's-
nice. It would have been nicer to finish the story and have KSI be the one that eventually beat him, because that would have wrapped the entire circle of this.
he? To me,
this thing around.
KSI
But
is a way better fighter.
if
than
KSI,
Jake
I don't
Paul.
think he's technically as good, but I think he's a lot more explosive and he holds more power. If he
What's so
beats
good
Tommy
about
Fury,
Tommy Fury? Jake Paul, technically, what's so good about it?
he's not an amazing technical boxer, but if you look at his if you look at his fundamentals compared to
What
KSI, he's got
fundamentals?
better footwork than KSI. I think he's got better defense than KSI.
I don't think he has better footwork than KSI.
He does.
I think he's definitely more battle tested than KSI. KSI's just fought gimmies. Man fought Swarms, bruv. Come on now, like.
Yeah.
No,
come
but
on,
those were
he's more-
cancelled fights. He wasn't
I'm
trying to
just
fight
saying,
him.
Jake Paul is more battle tested.
He beat his brother
He's way-
Logan Paul.
He's way more battle tested.
No, but you say that, but Jake Paul's fought Ben Askren and Tyron
he's fought
Woodley.
Tommy Fury though. He fought
Yeah, he
Tommy
has,
Fury.
but
Yeah,
that's-
but he lost.
KSI
No, but-
fought Joe Fournier.
And he elbowed him in his face. Man forgot the support. Man
No, but
forgot
that's the
support.
thing. That's when I say he doesn't have the fundamentals. If you look at that Fournier fight, he wasn't really setting anything up with his jab. He was just waiting to land the money
can't
shot.
say
Jake
that.
Paul,
But
you see,
he's so-
if you look at that,
He didn't need to set anything up. Fournier was so bad.
yeah, but if you look at that Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight, and I know you're going to criticize Anderson Silva, whatever. Anderson Silva is still a very slick technical boxer. You know, he started off as a
He's
kickboxer.
54 years old.
Yeah, he is. But if
No,
you
he's
look at
not.
his, yes, he is.
You
I'm
think-
not
you
saying
think
he's. I'm not
Anderson
comparing
Silva-
him. No. Listen.
You just-
I
you
know
just
you're going to
said-
say
you
he's
just
a
said he's a
technical
slick
boxer.
technical boxer.
He is. I'm not comparing him to a
I hear what
professional
he's saying.
boxer.
Compared to some of the MMA guys.
He is.
does
Comparison
that,
to
yeah,
who?
yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
And look at, if you look at the way Jake Paul dealt with him in that fight, and the skills that he used in the defense, and some of the moves
But
he
he
was
is
pulling off.
54 years old.
Oh no, I know.
and
I'm
not
not
a
saying.
boxer.
I know.
So I'm not going to give
saying-
him a lot of credit for
I
it.
give
No,
Jake
but
Paul
I'm
more
saying-
credit than KSI.
I'm
I give
saying
Jake Paul
as in
more
he
credit
displays
than KSI.
more
Why?
technical
Because
ability
he's
than
fought better
KSI did.
fighters.
Who?
Bro, he fought Tommy Fury. He's a fighter.
Right? And like,
Anderson Silva.
like Nick says, KSI fought Joe Fournier. He's a
Bro,
professional.
come on, bro.
No, look,
Professional boxers.
no, I think KSI cleans out Jake Paul. Don't get me wrong,
And
but
Pineda
Jake Paul has fought the
Pineda.
better opponents.
Pineda.
To me, I think if they fought, my money would be on KSI.
Same.
Bro, I don't know.
I think Jake Paul, come on, bro, that's all hype.
No, he has
He
fought
got
the better
exposed
boxers
against
though.
Tommy Fury.
Jake Paul's resume is better than KSI's.
It's a better
Yeah,
resume,
but it
but he
doesn't mean to say he's
loses.
a better fighter.
That's true.
No,
I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I think it's all mentality, and I think
Whilst we are there,
KSI's mentality and his power is different
talk
level.
about a real good fight, which is Errol Spence Crawford.
Yeah, and you're gonna be there, aren't
Yeah,
you?
of course.
How long are you gonna be out there for?
I'm only gonna be there from Thursday till Monday, I think. I can't even
Yeah,
remember.
you can't come back the day after.
I'm flying back on my birthday. It's funny.
Okay.
But for fights like this, it's like once in a lifetime type fights, like a generational type fights, like the Leonard Hagler type of thing. This you can't miss it. I had to be there. I had to be
Vegas,
no,
right?
I absolutely
Are you gonna be
understand
you
what
gonna be
you're
high rolling in the casino beforehand?
Bro, no, I'm gonna be so high on enthusiasm for this fight. I just want to see the fight. Like I'll just go sleep as early as possible just to wake up to be in the fight.
Which arena is it in?
T-Mobile Arena.
T-Mobile.
Let me just read out a super chat we've got here from legendary villain. He says, Jake Paul is knocking out KSI. If you think KSI is knocking out Jake Paul, why are you on the panel? KSI has no defense and swings wild.
But he's got crazy power, and when you're talking
not-
about
he's not
people, when you're talking about people in the lower echelons of boxing that don't have that much experience, power and physical attributes hold a lot more weight because someone like Jake Paul isn't.
Jake Paul the bigger
whilst
man?
I think he's but he does not have the power of KSI. I mean,
No, but isn't Jake Paul-
No,
what
but
weights
even
are they?
Logan Paul is a lot bigger than KSI. When KSI rocked him, Logan Paul was on his backburners. All right, and his power is just different when it comes to that scene of things. And because Jake Paul, whilst I think he's slightly technically better and his defense and his fundamentals are better, I don't think
I don't
they're
really
that
see
much
that.
better to counter the extra power that
Logan
KSI has.
Paul has the best resume out of everyone, though. This guy
fought Floyd.
fought Floyd.
Yeah, but he was 30 pounds more than him in that fight.
I think because KSI picks such low level competition, it's actually hard to see his fundamentals.
That's not true.
Yeah,
Unbeaten pro.
apart from the
And
unbeaten
what
pro,
about
that
Logan
is.
Paul? He beat Logan Paul.
Yeah, but that's still track. I'm
Joe
talking about in terms
Fournier.
of
Joe
boxers.
Fournier was unbeaten before
about
KSI took his own.
It's true. It's
No,
true.
he's still unbeaten. It's a no contest.
That's true as well. Yeah.
No, but KSI hasn't
still
been trying
unbeaten,
to
bro.
fight lower level people. Everyone's been
What was
pulling
his-
out.
what was his
I
record?
understand that,
8-0
but because of
with
that,
6 knockouts,
he hasn't
all in the
had
Dominican
to.
Republic.
He hasn't had to show jab, move, set up, whatever. He's fought people where if he goes in there and punches them in the face, they'll fall over. Like that's just that. He hasn't fought anyone with any type of durability, any type of chin. He hasn't fought anybody that if he punches them square in the face, they're not getting knocked out.
To be fair, that's
They're
what
not going
Joe
to show
Fournier
the
was
whole
meant
of
to
this
be.
fight.
Are we actually watching? Are we on the wrong channel?
I
or on
mean-
the right channel? Nah, bro. This,
So I mean about the padding, we're gonna watch
this
the
re-
entirety
Nah,
of
bro. This is
fight
mad.
before
This
the
is
new one
mad.
comes out.
No.
Obviously, we have no control of what's going on
This
in
is
Japan.
ridiculous.
But it is ridiculous. And we were told, I looked it up, and I was
Right, this
reliably informed. At the time, I thought I was being reliably informed that the ring walks would start at 11:30. Here we are, nearly
They
12:30.
wrapped his hands like 20 minutes ago.
More than,
Maybe
no,
that's what
they
it
wrapped
is.
his hand before the Rafisi fight
He's
started.
triple stacking his hands. That's what's taking so long.
I'm going on Instagram to see who's posted anything.
And this is why I asked what time it was over there, because our main events you don't usually expect to start until 9-10 o'clock local
Is there
time.
a problem
so-
why we're starting so late? I
It's
don't know.
in cohesion with American TV, so they're just trying to get a good time for
Yeah,
American TV.
yeah.
But I need to know a specific time.
So
This is
start
not
the actual
helping
card
at
later.
all.
Don't
What's Twitter saying?
muck about like this.
This is mad. This is.
Maybe it's because the last fight was an early stoppage as well. They're expecting that to go the
Do you
distance.
on a serious note though, because we've had a bit of fun with this whole YouTube boxing stuff. Do you think that YouTube boxing's here to stay, or do you think it's a bit of a
I think
fad.
I think they're trying to make it here to stay, and I think it's good that it's bringing. I mean, you can say it's taken away from boxing, whatever. I disagree with that argument. I think it's bringing a lot of young people, especially 9-10-year-olds. It's bringing them into boxing, and it's growing a sport which, let's be real, if you look over the past 20 years or so, has been falling slightly in its popularity with the youth, and allowing other things like MMA with a lot less history and less pedigree to take over in the modern era. So I think it's helping in that regard, but I do think once the story arc of KSI and Jake Paul ends, I think it will start to slowly diminish. I think you'll still see it lurking around, but I don't think it will hit the heights that it once had. It's only as good as a sport is only as good as who's at the top of it. The same way boxing for many years kind of died down when Vladimir Klitschko was at the top, because he wasn't very entertaining and not a lot of people globally wanted to watch him as much, which kind of diminished boxing a little bit. And then when you saw people like Anthony Joshua come through, it raised the whole sport with it, eyeballs and viewership wise. I think you see a similar sort of thing when it comes to YouTube boxing or influencer boxing.
Actually, helped out professional boxing in a sense, because they're so not so bad in a disrespectful way, but they are so bad from a technical perspective that people can clearly see a difference between even a low-level professional boxer like a Tommy Fury against some of the...
So you don't think Tommy Fury is going to be a world champ?
It's got a better chance than AJ does. No,
What?
I'm joking. Calm down, man. You're gonna have a heart attack. But no, I think people can clearly see that difference. I think for a while it was like, okay, cool. Is there going to be what are you seeing in terms of ring? I'm seeing bare different stuff.
Bruh,
some people saying 12:30, some saying between 12 and 1.
I did see Top Rank post something saying he got Inoue was getting his hands wrapped. That was
ages ago, yeah.
So
and they just
so I said they're restacking it, double stacking it, triple stacking it.
It was already done. Like, it was done an hour ago.
And the ESPN says 25 minutes. But
right, okay, while we're waiting, let's talk a little bit about the second big fight, shall we? That's taken place this weekend. We are going to discuss it on our DR Boxing Weekly show, but while we're waiting, that seems to be as good a subject.
We are doing that fight, right?
Yeah, we are. Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford for the undisputed and unified welterweight championship of the world. To me, not just the fight of this year, but the biggest fight in boxing, I think, since 2015.
For me,
Floyd versus Pacquiao.
For me, better than that.
Maybe better, but I'm talking in terms of the size of the fight.
Bigger than Floyd McGregor? On the numbers basis?
That wasn't a boxing match. Not on a numbers basis.
A proper boxing.
Actual boxing
match.
No,
I'm joking. Yeah. I know what you mean, yeah.
But I think in my opinion, and I will say this is probably one of the biggest fights of my life. And I was born in 1998. The reason why I say that is because in the time that I've been alive, when was the last time we saw the best versus, like, the best versus the second best, or the best versus the third best, or fourth? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, these are probably two of the best in the fighters in the world.
You're talking pound for pound guys fighting each other.
For all the belts. Like, we don't remember, there was about 12 years between Jermaine Taylor being undisputed and Crawford being undisputed. We never saw any undisputed champions in the dark ages of boxing. And then obviously we've seen a few in the last year, and now this is the big one though. Like, for the last 5 years at least, people have been talking about this fight, and I don't think, in my mind, I can't visibly see a fight that is anywhere near this on the horizon, like coming up, that could even rival this, you know. I mean, obviously people might say Usyk and Fury, but the argument there is, like, is Usyk and Fury even the best fighters of the world? You see,
well, are we ever going to see that fight? True. I mean, there's a school of thought that says you may not even see it.
I said about 2 years ago we're never going to see Fury versus AJ when AJ had his belt, and I'll say the same now.
I thought we would never see Crawford Spence. There was a stage where I never thought they were going to fight.
But the difference with Crawford Spence is that when we thought the fight wasn't going to happen, we blamed promotion. We've seen them both backstage. We've seen the famous interview where they bump into each other, that impromptu moment, and you can see both guys want to fight.
See Fulton warming up.
But I think that's the same with everyone else. Like, even with AJ and Fury, I think they want to fight.
I think the energy between AJ and Fury is I don't know if you've seen the video that I'm talking about, but the energy between AJ and Fury is insanely different to the energy between Crawford and Spence when they bumped into each other backstage, and you can clearly see, like let's get this fight on. In fact, it
Well,
got
apparently,
it got to the point where
if
Crawford
Errol
and Spence done the fight themselves.
Yeah,
They got on the
apparently,
phone and said, "Let's do this."
I think Errol Spence rang him up and said, "Listen, man, let's cut to the chase. Let's get it done."
Yeah.
And if you think about it, Crawford and Spence. Crawford isn't signed to any promotional company. Usyk, again, wasn't signed to any promotional company neither. So when you think about that, that fight should have been easy to make as well.
Yeah.
Because Usyk and Fury, you know, it should be straightforward to get Usyk. It's not like Usyk has a promotional company to rival and they got to do a split promotion or anything like that. So it should have been an easy fight to happen. But in relation to Spence Crawford, you don't get bigger than this. Like you don't. Like, you can get comparables, you know, but you don't get bigger or better. Like, people talk about Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns, for example, or Ali and Fraser. Like, you may have things that are similar in terms of, especially from a boxing fight. Maybe not size. I know, like, they may have more
bigger numbers,
but like Ryan Garcia and Tank, that was a bigger fight in terms of size and revenue.
That generated, what they're saying, 100 million.
1.4 million pay-per-view buys or something.
Yeah, generated. Yeah,
I know you're a massive Ryan Garcia fan.
But-
Some would say simp.
but
So,
this fight is better than that.
way
It's-
better.
oh, yeah,
way
yeah.
better.
So that's my point. You don't get anything better. You might get something to rival with, but you don't get anything better than Crawford.
It's all about timing with these kind of things, though, because if you'd have said this 2 years ago and we actually had AJ Fury when it was supposed to happen, that for me would have been the biggest fight, arguably one of the biggest fights ever.
For me,
in boxing history.
I've always thought, and I know you disagreed with me with this, but I've always thought Wilder and AJ was bigger. When Wilder and AJ were both undefeated, I thought that was always bigger than Fury and AJ.
No,
I think
the
so.
story-
The UK, the British and American rivalry.
You don't get bigger or better than you need American pay-per-view. American pay-per-view is $100 per pay-per-view. That's not doing that.
Shall I tell you why I disagree with that, though? Because before Fury fought Wilder, Fury was even a bigger name in the States than Deontay Wilder was before they fought the first time, which is why I would say Tyson
know
Fury.
about
He was. There was
I don't know
videos
about
of him
that.
walking down the street asking them who Wilder was, and then Tyson Fury was. No, Tyson Fury globally was a bigger star, and I think
Globally, not in America.
I would argue in America, but I would definitely say globally he was. And because of the British feud and because of the long-lasting feud between AJ and Fury, I think the storyline was a lot bigger. But because now the timing of everything with what Fury's been doing recently with the fact AJ's lost, I think this fight has become a lot bigger. And if they'd have left this fight another couple of years, I think you could have been bordering on a territory where people start to lose more and more interest. And for me, I know you like to say Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, huge fight. It was a huge fight. It happened way too late. It should have happened a lot earlier.
If you think that's too late, what about your boy Tyson Fury is going to wait until until Usyk's 38 years old?
I agree, and that's exactly what I was saying about. But even Tyson Fury Usyk, it's not quite as big as it would have been Tyson Fury AJ, and I don't know if I quite put that on the level.
I agree with that,
and I don't think. It's a lot harder for Tyson Fury versus Usyk to compete with a Spence Crawford. The only reason it would do is because we haven't had an undisputed heavyweight champion or unified since Lennox Lewis. So that's the only reason why that could somewhat rival it. But
First time in the 4-belt era as well.
do you think we'll get multiple fights, Spence Crawford, potentially a trilogy on the cards?
Hopefully, I hope so. There's a rematch already negotiated. So.
Yeah.
I mean, making a rematch should be straightforward if the fight isn't if the fight isn't one-sided. I mean, if one of the dudes get knocked out clean, then which I don't see happening.
I think if Spence was to get beaten comprehensively, I think he would move up to junior middleweight.
Now, I think he would want his get back.
Yeah, but if he was beaten comprehensively, you might think, because you know what the excuse will be, that he's weight drained. I mean, Spence has been fighting as a welterweight from when he was an amateur. He fought for the United States in the 2012 games, the London games. I remember that well. And that was, 11 years ago. He's still fighting at welterweight now. So really and truly, he should really have moved up in weight by now.
Someone from NYC, Dylan, thanks for the comment, said that's crazy to say that Fury was bigger than Wilder. I'm American and from New York City. That is a crazy statement. And that person's in America, and they're like, that's just not true.
I respectfully disagree with him. I respectfully agree with myself, as an American man myself,
But we're still waiting for this, for the ring walks, which is, I've got to say, man, it's incredibly frustrating. Must be.
This is what I mean, man. Why is the boxing not capitalizing on such easy changes it can make to the way that it produces and formats its shows?
Because it still generates so much money, but they don't feel
but
the need to change things.
It's slipping, though. It's slipping. That's what I mean. If you're talking about the modern audience and people using social media now, people lose interest and attention span after 8 to 10 seconds. They're waiting a whole hour between it. They were showing pretty much the entire Butler fight before we're seeing another fight here. Yeah. We're going to have watched 2 full Inoue fights by the time this thing's done. Bro, it's ridiculous. Fair enough, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, do whatever you need to do to pad it. But this is bordering on 30, 40, almost an hour.
It's an hour. It's an hour, bro. Do you know what this is similar to? Remember when Canelo was fighting Kovalev? I don't know if anyone remembers that, but they
left it stewing for ages.
So, almost over an hour. Because they didn't want to clash with the UFC.
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, funnily enough, that was a Nate Diaz fight on that.
It might have been.
It was the BMF belt fight, yeah. But, that shows you all you need to know, though, about the fact that
somebody in there said that we're complaining
so
about it too much. But listen, it's not just us, is it? It's like people around the world who would have set their timers on watching this fight. And look,
that's what I mean. Luckily for me, I've got you guys to talk about boxing and talk about other things to keep myself entertained. If I'm sat here watching this at home by myself, I'm falling asleep right now.
To answer what that guy said, the issue that you have is this fight is already an inconvenience. 2 reasons. 1, because it's happening the same week as Crawford and Spence. But 2, it's happening in the middle of the week. In a time where, in a country which is not normally, we don't normally have to watch boxing at this time. So it is a massive inconvenience. So for me, I don't even think, it just makes it a bit more, if I was a fighter, or not even a fighter, if I was a fan, I'd be more skeptical. I'll be very, very critical of why I'm waiting for so long, especially if I bought a ticket for that fight. I'll be waiting here for hours, I don't even know what's going on. This is ridiculous. And especially when you got, in all fairness, I know Rabisi is a good name, but you got not a great undercard neither.
And let's be honest, right? There'll be a lot of people watching, and I know Shane's in a similar position, who have got to tailor this around work commitments. Mm-hmm. And they would have put in place plans to watch this fight, and they go to work after, or whatever the case may be. And here we are, 12:35. We were told that the ring walks were going to be at 11:30. It's over an hour after, and there's still no ring walk left.
Mate, Sky Sports are floundering right now. They're padding this more than Inoue does his raps.
But it's pretty poor, I've got to say.
Yeah, I'm literally just trying to see if there's any. But you know what made me think, that this might be a bit long? When the Rabisi fight started at 11:30.
Well, we're seeing pictures now.
We're showing more sparring footage.
The fact that we're not even seeing none of these guys in the dressing room is a telling sign.
Coming up next.
Yeah, but they're with him saying.
I saw that already, bro.
Yeah, that's been.
And
up
what
there.
they mean by that is coming up next year.
Has been up there for about 20 minutes.
Facts.
Coming up within the next decade.
Bro, this is ridiculous.
Maybe they're waiting until Saturday to run it side by side with a Spence and Crawford.
Bro, you know what's so funny? I actually think a lot of these guys are trying to stretch the card out because they think Inoue is going to knock him out quick. So they're just trying to stretch the timeline. I don't know what they're doing.
Wouldn't it be amazing if Fulton turns out to be the puncher?
But I don't see that.
Well, you never know, I mean, I doubt it because he's not shown in his career so far that he's a puncher. I think 24 fights, he's got 8 KOs or something like that.
Yeah.
21 fights, 8 KOs.
8 KOs, so he's not known as a big puncher. But, you know what boxing is. If you catch a person at the right time in the right place, anyone can go.
I think only 2 current champions have a better knockout ratio than Inoue.
Yeah, Beterbiev and
Matthias at 140.
Yeah.
No one else, I don't think.
Beterbiev has 100%.
And he's knocking out champions as well.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing. He's knocking out champions.
Everyone's trying to age out Beterbiev, though, is it? So that's why I respect Callum Smith.
Facts.
Because
Oh, another pro.
well, I don't believe it. Oh no, he's not coming up.
Yeah, they start showing a ring walk for a different fight. Oh man, talk about clickbaiting. Now they're showing his entire career. Are we gonna watch every single fight back to back to back? Oh man, I don't even want to sound like I'm moaning, but this
No,
is
but you're
bordering
100%
on-
correct.
I think we're well within our rights to moan, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because this is poor, man. I mean, an hour after. I mean,
This better be a good fight.
Trust me, bro.
If this flatters to
Imagine
deceive,
first-
or if this
first
is like a
round KO.
first round knockout. then-
I'll be vexed, bro. I swear down. I
This is
swear
gonna be
to God, I'll be
embarrassing.
vexed, bro.
Do you guys think there's something bad's happened backstage?
But we're not even seeing anything back.
I think if there was, we would have heard about it by now. If there was a problem with the,
But we ain't got no
the
volume,
raps
so-
or something else, something would have
Someone's
filtered
trying
through
to
by now.
imagine if it was. You guys remember the FA Jagba fight where that guy came in and walked out? I was like, yeah, I'm
Didn't get
gone.
paid.
Man didn't get paid, so I'm going all the way to the ring and leaving. That guy's sick.
He had to do like his minimum requirement. Someone did that. Very off topic from sports. Someone did that on I'm a Celebrity. There was a certain amount of money they get paid for just turned up, and then said, "Yeah, cool, I'll take the minimum," and then bounced, bro, and just left. And never did any of the tasks or nothing like that. Now they're showing bloody Muhammad Ali.
Oh, bro, this is ridiculous.
So we were speaking about the Spence Crawford, or like I said, we're gonna
Where Crawford's
cover it in more detail, but just quickly, your thoughts on the fight, Nick?
Yeah, Crawford wins by points.
You said that so comfortably, bro. Said that- If you put a
Do
gun
you know what it
to,
is? I've said it confidently previously, and the man's got to stick with it. So,
I hear you
man.
still.
I'm going all in.
If you put a gun to my head, and I've been through this a million times, you put a gun to my head, I will say Crawford. But I can see ways where both of them
Yeah.
could win. I can even see ways where both of them can win by knockout.
Yeah, I was gonna
literally,
say
I can see
that.
both of them win by knockout, and both of them win on
That's
points.
why I can say Crawford so confidently, because if I'm wrong, it don't matter, because
Yeah, I hear you.
no one can say, "Oh, I knew it was gonna be," because no one knows. So
But I actually come up with a really good analogy for this fight. Yeah, I look at it like two mathematicians. You got some certain mathematicians who are mental arithmetic, who they don't 9 times out of 10 they're just going to give you the right answer in their head, and then you got other mathematicians who 10 times out of 10 they're going to give you the right answer, but they need to show they're working out.
which one's which?
Crawford
show you
is
working. Yeah.
exactly. Crawford needs to. If you give him the time and space to calculate and adjust and figure out your timing, there's no way you can win. No fighter. Period. Past, present. There's no fighter that's gonna beat him if he gets your timing and he understands the range. He's got you. You've won. But Errol Spence has just got that naturally. He's gonna come in there and do what he normally does.
Well, Errol Spence has made no secret of what his tactics are going to be. He says, I'm coming in here to break him. So he's saying he's going to make it a war of attrition, which suggests that he's going to try and walk through Crawford, go to the body, and then those body shots, rough him up. He's a bigger man. He's going to try and impose his size and strength on
There's
him.
a saying though, exchanging a body shot for a headshot isn't a good exchange rate. You don't get a good exchange rate for that. So if you want to exchange a body shot for a headshot, we'll see.
No,
who comes
but
out with
there
more
is a
money.
lot of mileage in investing to the body.
But you can invest. I only need one single headshot, and it's good. In certain instances, not
Yeah.
every time.
But is Crawford
but you
a bigger
got-
puncher like that?
We've seen him knock dudes out clean.
Yeah, but not like
Clean.
Spence though.
What do you mean?
Spence is a big guy who's got a good chin.
I know.
Yeah, so
But Porter has never been
Big
knocked
up,
out neither.
big up Sir Alex Ferguson in the chat. He said, "There's no way they let Crawford win on points because it's a PBC."
No,
show."
the fight. If the fight is close, it might go to Spence. But if Crawford wins comfortably, they'll give it to him. This fight.
I don't think it will be. Yeah, I tend to agree with Shane on that. I don't think.
lowest
will-
KO percentage.
Wow.
I like Sonny Edwards.
Stephen
you know?
Fulton, 38. Yeah,
Lowest
wow.
KO. Why is Inoue there?
That's
No,
his
that's
brother.
Inoue's
That's
brother.
his-
Oh,
yeah.
There's
cool,
about
my bad.
4 of them, bro.
As well as bury them.
Bury them, bruv. I used to have fishes in a fish tank, yeah, and I named my fishes in the fish tank after boxers. I had a group of 5 that looked exactly the same. I just called them the Inoue brothers, bro.
Oh, here we go. This is it.
Nah,
It
don't
looks
gas
as if we have lift
Don't
off,
gas us.
but
This is
but
it.
then again, I have to say though, the stadium looks full.
Packed.
It is, but how long is it going to be full for?
I
You're gonna be
think both
walking
of
out
these
soon.
look so confident, though.
Yeah.
I thought they both looked so confident yesterday.
You see at the weigh-in, the
The
Look at
size
that. Like,
difference
they just
is
don't-
huge.
There's no, neither one looks nervous.
No, why would you be?
you're talking
don't
about.
get- you don't get
these
to
are
the
the
list
fights that
level
can
in
shatter
your
your
career.
confidence if you lose, though, because you go
Fact.
in with supreme confidence.
Like Audley Harrison.
Supreme confident. Audley Harrison was never confident. He was never confident.
But
That was fake confidence. That was never confident. But do you know what I mean? You go in with supreme confidence and then get starched. Not that one of these, I mean, I guess Fulton's more likely to get starched than Inoue is. But do you know what I mean? If you go in with that mad confidence and then you lose, poof,
What do you
that
think
can
of
take a
that
long time to rip
3-inch
back.
reach advantage to Fulton? That
10
could be
3.5
quite
inch
significant.
reach
It's going to be all about Inoue's legs. I'm telling you, Inoue's legs are how he wins this. It's going to all be how he moves around the ring and how quickly he can move.
He's got
in
very
and
good
out.
footwork, actually.
He's going
Very light on
he's
his
going to
feet.
need it. He also jumps a lot though, which I don't know. Like he jumps in, he jumps out. His feet are off the ground, both feet off the ground, far too often.
Who does that
So it's-
remind you
Explosive
of?
is- Huh?
Who does that remind you of?
KSI. I'm joking.
No, he's herky
Pacquiao,
jerky.
Pacquiao.
Yeah, and
I
Pacquiao's his
just said
favourite
KSI
fighter.
as a joke.
Well, you don't want
Pacquiao's Inoue's favourite fighter. This is
Okay,
how-
I can see that. I can see
Imagine if Floyd was Fulton's favourite fighter.
that. Now, Marquez probably who's been studying blood. Do you know what I mean? He gets caught with that
Like
right
that.
coming in. You get caught coming in, both feet off the ground. You can score knockouts like that, even if
You
it's
know
not
what I
really
would
a
say though?
knockout
I would
punch.
say that technically Inoue looks better than Pacquiao. I was never.
I thought you were going to say better than Fulton.
No.
Pacquiao's a bit of a scrapper.
Better than Manny Pacman.
I'm not saying he's not
Pacquiao's
saying he's a
very
better
talented boxer,
fighter.
but he was a bit
Yeah,
scrappy.
technically
He was more
wasn't very good.
versatile.
Yeah,
1
yeah.
million. Like Inoue is way more versatile than Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao relied a lot more on his natural explosive athleticism and power. Because
And the angles he used to- the angles
Oh
he
no,
used
he
to create,
definitely
though,
had good angles as well. I thought Pacquiao's footwork was some of the best footwork we've ever seen. Like he had really good footwork.
And people just loved it.
That's what I'm saying. Look at the undefeated fighters he's fought.
Talking of Pacquiao, there's a story doing the rounds at the moment. That,
Not a comeback story.
yeah, him and Amir Khan.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, what a fight that would be.
Pacquiao wins that.
Of course he does.
Pacquiao wins that easy.
Of
Amir
course.
Khan should just not. He shouldn't even spar again.
Listen, if you wink at Amir Khan's gal on the way to the ring, he'll fall over, blood. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Serious. I see
mean,
that guy getting
to
knocked
be
out by a
fair,
gust of wind, blood.
I am hearing that they had a handshake agreement on the fight, so
Classic.
that's pretty
Classic.
much
He
done.
loves an Amir Khan handshake. Joke.
Literally, you know,
He
like
loves
that. I'm assuming he was shaking Manny Pacquiao's hand when he tested positive.
Well, hopefully,
Maybe
It's
this
an
ring will
exhibition,
test
isn't it?
positive soon.
He can't fight. He
Why
doesn't
an
have a boxing
exhibition?
license. He don't have a boxing license. He's banned in it.
Yeah. Wait, is it global ban or just British?
No, you can never get a
commission?
global ban, but what happens is, like what they're doing with Conor Ben, if you got a
gentleman's
ban,
thing, yeah.
they will then contact other commissions and say, this guy has a ban, and more
Just run it
often
up
than
in Saudi. Big money fight.
not- Yeah, you can. But I don't think they need to make it pro anyway. Like, these guys are making a bag of money.
Yeah, because Amir Khan is officially retired, and like you
Exactly.
said, he's banned for the drug thing that he.
Yeah, but how many people come out of retirement, in and out of retirement?
That's what Tyson
Floyd
Fury
Mayweather
That's-
retired about
That's
5
Tyson
times.
Fury, bro. That guy Tyson Fury retires verbally every month.
should. You're real talk.
I'm done. I'm finished.
You like fighters that retire a lot.
Yeah,
Tyson
I
Fury,
knew you were going to go with that one.
Lopez.
Tio Lopez.
How long was
yeah?
his retirement?
No, I
12
like
days?
it. Like I said, I
12
think
days.
it's. I think it's.
It was less than a month.
Yeah, I think it's a tactical masterstroke personally, because no one's more interested in your fight than when it's a return fight. So the best thing you can do: retire, come back, boom, everyone's
I thought this
interested
fight
again.
was starting, bro. Man, ain't even seen a ring walk, dread.
He's on gassing us for future fights.
I have seen this same clip of him looking up at the camera like that about 10 times.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie though. All jokes aside, yeah, with them showing us this, why? They might as well just show us something different. Because what is this?
Slap on
doing
an episode
for
of My
us?
Wife and Kids or
Leave
Fresh
us
Prince or
something,
something,
bro.
but and just come back when the boxing scene.
Or a DJ, or show us the crowd, see if you see a gal in there or something. Like, show me something different, bro. What
said,
is
no,
this?
Nick's violating. Yo, shout out Show Ramen, you know, my guy in the chat, blood.
I could do with some ramen noodles right now.
Bro, you're
Wrong
telling
type
me.
of
the amount
ramen.
of time
but
this is
say no
going,
more,
huh?
blood.
Wrong type of ramen.
Yeah, wrong spelling of ramen, but
Oh, really?
You can't see the spelling.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the spelling, to be fair. So.
Well, eventually we're going to see the fighters come to the
Right.
ring.
Tomorrow,
but this is so
Eventually.
frustrating. Next week.
they're trying to tire out Fulton, bro. They're
You know
trying to
like
leave him
that, bro?
stewing. I bet he's ready. That's why they wouldn't show us backstage. I bet he's sitting there like that.
He's probably sleeping.
Just ready.
Bro,
Just ready.
hey, I'm so glad you said that. You know when Kovalev fought Canelo, I swear, you don't need to go watch this back, yeah? Kovalev was sleeping in between. Bro, man was I swear
No,
to
but
God,
a
he was
few fighters,
sleeping.
Lennox Lewis used to do that before fights.
Sleep.
Yeah, sleep.
When we saw
And-
Marius Vac, he was pretty much sleeping at the.
Oh, yeah.
Shane's put me to sleep on the show on Wednesday.
Seriously, Lennox used to have a little kip before, well before the fight.
Hey,
But yeah.
hey, I swear, yeah, I was dying when I saw you. When you were arguing about Conor McGregor, yeah, Nick was here just sleeping. If you haven't
slept
seen
for like
that,
3
No
minutes.
one
yeah,
was even arguing about it.
Nick was sleeping for at least 3 minutes, bro. This guy was, his eyes were closed for a consecutive 3 minutes.
No,
Live
he was
stream.
wait. He was doing the old look to the camera. Is the camera looking at me?
The camera's always looking.
Looking over.
The cameras are
Looking
fixed. It's
over.
always looking.
This fella
Looking
didn't
over.
move, bro.
Cuts to the wide angle. Cuts to the wide angle. Looks over at the corner of his eye.
What do you think of the? It's been announced, Eubank and Smith.
Beautiful fight. Brilliant
Rematch.
fight.
Same result.
I'm banking on a Eubank win.
I don't think you're going to see that. To be honest.
I'll take that bet. I'll take that
Yeah,
bet.
I'll take that bet easy, mate. You better win some money in
Wait, you
Vegas
think-
if you're
you
going to
think-
be
you think-
cashing
you
checks
think-
like that.
You think Eubank will win?
Yeah.
Based on what?
Based on
Based on skills,
7%
mate.
body fat.
Based
Eubank
on
versus
skills.
Eubank
Look,
versus who?
Smith.
beefy.
Wait, what Smith? Because I want to
The
know.
rematch.
Liam
Wait,
Smith.
I know. I want to know if this guy's on drums.
There isn't a Smith. There isn't a Smith he can beat anyway. It don't matter. He can't beat Melissa
He couldn't
Smith.
beat
like,
WH
it don't matter who he I like, bro.
He could beat W.H. Smith.
Nah, bro. He probably couldn't,
Alright.
bro. He probably couldn't.
Oh, here we go. And
Fam,
it's
I
actually
can't
coming
lie,
out. Look.
yeah. That is. I was actually so confused. How did
No,
you know?
I think
did
you know
watch
what?
the first fight?
If he fights to his fight and he doesn't try and do
Did you
this
not
Roy
watch the
Jones
first fight?
Jr.
Look how
change
big
of the
that, look how
style
big
thing.
that team is.
Yeah, that
He's
is
got.
huge.
Look at that.
This guy's got a
Wow.
whole.
That's like
He's
half
got the
of
whole
AJ's
Japan
team.
football team.
That
in
looks
fact.
like an American football team.
This guy's got more trainers than JD Sports. What's going on
What?
here?
Sir, I've never seen a team as big as that. Look.
Most wins in world title fights. You see that?
Yeah,
Canelo
Canelo
number
at the top.
1 and Bud Crawford number 2.
But let's keep it real, though.
Yeah, who's
How
number
mu-
one?
Let's keep it real.
Saul.
How much? How
Canelo.
much of those Canelo fights? Yeah. Should have been world title fights. Let's keep it real. Him versus John Ryder shouldn't have been a world title fight, bro.
No, but John Ryder was a mandatory.
So is
Well,
Benavidez.
you've got egg in your face.
So is
But you can
Benavidez.
still cherry pick.
So-
No, I know.
So
Listen, I'm with you.
It
I'm
should
just
still be
saying.
a world title fight, though.
What Canelo did is he just looked at the belt, said, "Oh, we will accept that mandatory." Do
Literally.
you know that with the Benavidez fight now, the WBC he's not got to fight him until 2024?
By that time,
2024 ain't
The
far
WBC
away.
is a joke. The WBC.
No, but what I'm saying is, man, it's because even
why
though
are you guys surprised though? This is the same governing body that allowed him to be what's it called, franchise champion.
That's Maurizio,
to
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the
Maurizio-
same
Maurizio did that,
person
bro. We know
who
about
made
Maurizio.
him franchise champion to not fight Charlo.
Maurizio
So
is
let's
bull.
keep it real, bro.
Oh, here we go.
We never even heard of a franchise champion before Canelo.
so it would appear that now Inoue with that. I've never seen an entourage as big as that coming to the ring.
But we're gonna do national
AJ's
anthems
had
and-
some crazy.
No, not as many as
no,
that.
no,
Nowhere
no.
near
They
as
had
many
the
as
whole
that.
Japan football team with him, man.
Did you see the amount of people in that dressing room?
There's about 50 men in there.
But at least
You can
30,
hold
yeah.
a solid
There was
rave
more
in
than
there.
13 there, bro.
Yeah, 30, I said, yeah.
But they might do national
Oh
anthems
no,
as
here
well.
we go. Like, why are we? Oh, gosh. We're having dignitaries introduced before.
What do you mean? It's only why are you complaining? It's only been
All
an
these
hour.
men are
It's
like
only
old-
been an hour and a half
all
since
these
we were meant to have the
boxing-
fight.
All these boxing governing body man are like old mafia dons. All of them.
Yeah.
They look like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of
Bro, the ring walk's gonna be at 2:00.
I just
And
realised
1
we
o'clock.
could have literally had a full Premier League football match in between these fights.
And, then
Bro,
and as you
full
said,
night.
We
as you
could have
said-
had a 5-day Ashes test match in between the time that we've been waiting for this, bro. This is ridiculous, bro.
Man should have ordered wings, bro.
Oh, Sky Sports, here we go. Inoue Fulton live. Oh, now you want to give me the notification. Oh, finally.
and we're probably going to get national.
I'm not even
That's
gonna lie.
probably why
I
it's
need a
taking so
knockout
long, 'cause
still.
Inoue has
I
so
literally
many
need a
men around
knockout,
him.
bro. I can't even cap. I need a knockout for this fight.
Oh, not another promo video. Come on.
I think this is the worst I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even gonna lie to you. In the hundreds or maybe thousands of fights I've seen, this may be the worst
At
I've ever
this rate,
seen.
Spence and Crawford will start before this one.
This is ridiculous,
You're going to miss your flight to Vegas if this carries on, mate.
bro. Trust me.
Who's on the undercard for those? The main.
I know. Isn't Pitbull supposed to be on the
oh,
undercard?
okay. That's very underwhelming, isn't it? Who's he fighting?
Bro, I don't even know.
That's the trouble with some of these fights as well, man. The undercard is not great. I mean, even the undercard for this fight,
Yeah,
was
Pitbull,
Isaac Cruz, Giovanni Cabrera.
it's a blowout.
Anything out? Anyone
No, but that's the thing because they put.
oh my God, Nonito Donaire.
Oh, fair enough.
No, but they
And
commit so much
Santiago.
of their money towards the main event for these fights. It's like a going out of sale business. Everyone else on the card realistically gets peanuts in a lot of these cases.
Yeah, that was like Floyd. Floyd used to pay these guys like $5,000.
And that's why you never see crazy undercards on their fights.
Floyd needs to pack it in now, seriously. These
Needs to
exhibitions,
Pacquiao it in.
he needs to stop.
Facts.
Even that last one
He needs
was
to stop
total
gambling
farce.
first, blood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's peak.
Mate, no one's turning up to them anymore. I mean, eventually they're going to stop. I don't know who's funding this. I don't know what shadow corporation is giving Floyd all this money to put these exhibition
Bro,
bouts on.
this
But
is ridiculous.
no one's watching them. The last fight he had
The one in
against the
London,
Geordie
there's
Shore
about
guy.
12 people there, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was doing like some roller skating around central London to promote the fight or something. I don't know. Even one of my boys went to one of his like nightclub events. I don't know how the hell he managed to wrangle his way in there. There's just no interest for any of his fights at all. If he keeps going on, it's going to get
The
embarrassing.
problem with a lot of boxers is, right, it's not just the money with them, is it? They just can't take not being in the limelight.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But do you think it's
With Floyd,
bad
it's
for
also
Floyd
money,
to do
though.
it? Do you think it's bad for someone that Floyd that's trained his entire life to be an elite professional boxer? Do you think there's a certain aspect of it that is actually really wrong, that he's beating up a lot of these kids that have been fighting for 3, 4, 5 years and he's using his skills to batter these people? Do you not see an issue in that?
I just don't want to see it full stop.
Because as someone of his skills, someone that's been fighting for that long, that trained in the art of fighting, which is very, very dangerous in and of itself.
Yeah.
I know it's an exhibition and maybe they're using bigger gloves and stuff, but
Well,
that is still quite wrong.
One of my friends always, I see him every Wednesday, and he always shouts at me every Wednesday. It's about the easiest fights for the most money. So, you know,
Yeah, but against other... Yeah, I know. But against other professional fighters, you're fighting YouTubers that have been fighting for 3, 4 years,
so
and you're Floyd
into
Mayweather.
influencer boxing. You're the
Yes,
main advocate
fighting
for that.
each other, not fighting Floyd Mayweather.
You didn't want to see Jake Paul fight Tommy Fury?
That's different. Tommy Fury has not been fighting for anywhere near as long as Floyd
boxer.
Mayweather. Tommy Fury's not,
changing
man.
your argument.
Tommy Fury's not.
He's a
He's as much of an influencer boxer as Jake Paul is. I think he gets knocked out by KSI.
Didn't you-
He's a flipping
didn't
Love
you
Island
wanna-
guy.
Didn't you want to see Vidal Riley fight Jake Paul?
No. I wanted to see Vidal Riley fight Tommy Fury.
But you just said that Tommy Fury's influencer boxer.
Yeah, I know, but he's going and
Vidal-
claiming that he is a
your argument's
professional
going all
boxer.
over the place.
No, it's not, because I think Vidal cleans him out in a couple
He
of
would.
rounds.
I
That's
agree
why.
with you, but you just said Tommy Fury's an influencer boxer.
Yes, but Vidal Riley also has not been fighting for 30 plus years and is
you
not on
think
the level
Vidal
of Floyd
Riley is-
Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is the greatest of all time. And he's
I don't know
fighting
about
people
that.
that have been
He's
fighting
not-
for
he's
4
not-
years.
He's not the greatest.
I mean, he
but-
markets himself as that. I definitely think he got a strong claim to be the greatest of all time. I would put Ali
never lost.
number one, but
I think there's a few before him, man. Ali, Sugar Ray, Robinson.
Ali,
Robinson
if you're talking
maybe,
about
yeah.
how he transcended the sports and the things he did outside and inside of the ring, if you're talking purely inside the ring, Floyd Mayweather has as good a claim as anyone.
I agree with that, by the way.
Daniel Chambers says, James, you are mad if you think KSI beats Tommy. Wow, worrying.
Knocks him out, mate. Easy.
I
One
agree
punch.
with you. I mean,
I don't know about that, bro. I
Mate,
don't
he's
know.
more explosive than a stick of dynamite. You stick
I-
his right fist
I
on the
will
jaw of Tommy
never
Fury.
predict with full-heartedly any of this influencer stuff because I don't know, and I see flaws when I look at both of them. So
Actually, you
it's
know
very
what? When
difficult.
we went to York Hall, I got there earlier and I was stood kind of near John Fury, and he's a pretty big guy, so I actually retract that statement. I think Tommy Fury is going to be a future world champion.
Yeah, I've seen Tommy Fury as well. He's big. I mean, John Fury is big. Trust me. Man,
he's
he
a
is.
former fighter.
He
Wasn't
is.
a very good
I'll tell you, it
one.
was
He
huge raise. Derek Chisora, man. Whew, mate, you don't want to mess with that guy. He is mahoosive. He came through rocking through like 5 gold chains on him, the watch, everything.
I think the biggest fight I've ever seen was David Price. Like he is
He's
massive.
6'8".
He is massive.
Fury's 6'9".
Oh yeah, don't forget Marius Vac as well.
Price is taller than Fury,
No, he's not.
bro. Price
Fury's
is
6'9".
bro. Price is bro.
Fury's 6'9".
Bro,
I mean,
Price
he's-
is
supposedly,
he's
apparently-
saying-
Price is
he's saying forget
Price
what it
is
says
Price
on the-
Price is taller than Fury. There is footage with them
Right.
both in amateurs standing next to each other with no shoes on, and Price is taller.
They kind
One
of-
thing I would say is that David Price did actually beat Tyson Fury as an amateur. He knocked him down as well.
In that same fight, they had a head-to-head with no shoes on. Price is taller. Maybe he grew after 21, but in that picture, Price was taller than Fury.
Like,
Oh, that's
Right,
the price
now
you pay when you grow up.
he's about to make his way to the ring.
Finally, bro.
Finally, after an hour and a half after we were told that the ring walks were going to happen. It's nearly 1 o'clock
Why have they got
UK
this
time.
like black and white filter over the camera? What's going on here?
Just be thankful he's coming out. I was beginning to wonder that we might not see him at all.
Thought my man.
I'd love
ran.
to know what the delay is. I think someone said it's to synchronise the time with the USA.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but
No, they were trying to fit
At long
all his
last.
coaches into
Well,
the
you gotta
room. That's what's
remember-
going on.
got to say, Inoue looks good. He's bouncing on his feet, very light.
It's-
Looks confident.
It's 5:30 Western in America. Or no, 6 o'clock now Western in America.
What would you say is Inoue's body language? Does he look good to
He
you?
looks focused.
He's chilling.
It's mad focused.
He's big chilling.
At
least
least,
him coming out first as well.
yeah, exactly. I was going to say. I mean,
Credit to that.
There's a trend at the moment.
Credit
isn't there?
Suisse.
I mean, Maxi Hughes, who defended his IBO title at the weekend, he had to make the ring walk first.
I'm
against
not doing that,
George
bro.
Kambosos.
Brother, I'd rather we're walking out at the same time then, blood. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? It's cool.
I think whenever you see that, start to worry.
Yeah, because it
Start to
tells
worry.
you that you've already, if you're gonna, I know it's money and stuff, but if you're gonna separate that, put your kind of pride and put this other man over you, you're ready to.
I don't think he agreed to it. I think that's what he
Are
was
we
told
getting
to do.
national anthems as well, bro?
Probably.
Bro, car, that's a mad thing, bro.
They're gonna have to put that in 1.5 speed or something, bro.
Lidge,
'cause
bro.
this is just, you know what I mean?
Here comes Inoue, he enters the ring.
Or like first
One thing I would say as well about
second verse
the
USA,
Japanese crowds, they're not very vocal. They're not like, it'd be more polite applause rather than rabid atmosphere.
Because they're respectful people
Yeah,
in Japan.
yeah.
You don't get a bunch of drunk Steves walking around
Bro.
smashing Stellas and
I remember one time I
beating people
saw
up.
Bivol fight in Russia. Yeah, I wasn't actually there. I watched the crowd, bro. It literally looked like some mob then, bro. Like there was so everyone just chilling, sitting down, just bare smoke. I was like, right, this is mad. But I think each country has their culture and how they do things. Like Mexico, a lot of music and stuff like that. British people, Sweet Caroline and all of that.
Coke. I remember going to, I think it was Nathan, this back in the day when I was doing some stuff with IFL. Shout out to Coogan, my good friend. But yeah, I think it was Nathan Cleverly was fighting, could have been Tony Bellew. It was in Cardiff, but bro, the toilets, every man was just coming out of there with just, I could not believe what I was seeing, man. Everyone was just on some mad coke.
But that's why our fans are so hype,
Charlie
innit?
Brown.
Yeah.
Them man on some different type of drugs.
And I'm pretty sure that's not what's happening out
Allegedly.
in Japan.
allegedly.
This is not allegedly, bro. I saw this with my own eyes.
Hey,
Trust me.
you know, maybe they were having some
so
profiteroles with a
you
bit
are
too much
alleging it.
icing sugar.
I'm
it
not
is
alleging it.
allegedly.
I saw it, bro. I saw it.
Here comes Stephen
How do you
Fulton.
know what they were consuming? Maybe they had a packet of sugar.
Because when I
some
went
salt?
in the toilet, funny enough, there was all the traces on the top of the bowl.
Did you test it to see
No, hell no.
to
Hell no.
validify it?
So here comes Fulton, and he looks very relaxed. He looks like he's going
Like
out
a
for a
motorbike
stroll.
jacket,
Yeah.
yeah.
He looks cool.
I will say he looked a bit more
Tough crowds.
phased than Inoue though.
No, he
Does look
looks-
a little bit more phased than Inoue.
No, he's singing to
It
himself.
looks like them man
The only surprise is
got him a bit cold in the dressing room. bro.
100%.
the only surprise he's not got a rapper bringing him out.
So it's like he's trying to amp himself up with the
No,
singing.
because most of the black fighters nowadays, that's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah, they
The American guys, anyway.
come out with and AJ as well.
AJ comes out with rappers, yeah.
His coach is shouting in his ear. He does. It's like he's trying to amp himself up a bit more. Inoue looked chill, but
If you
could he
look
be
what-
No,
too
I
chill?
think Fulton looks chill.
If you
He
lot
looks
were,
focused.
think he
if
does
you
look a
lot
little
were
bit
boxers,
cold.
what song would you lot come out to?
I'll do my favourite ring walk in terms of the audio is the Mike Tyson when he just come out to the clinking chains and no music. It'd be something like that, like something kind of atmospheric more than a song.
I do the double act. So I would start off with marching on together. That would be the first
Send
minute
everyone
or
to
so.
sleep.
Nah. What do you mean? That's what my boy does. You know, start off
Josh
marching.
Warrington?
Yeah, Josh Warrington. He starts off marching on together, and then he'll go into like.
But you're more of an Ebony Bridges fan, aren't you?
No. So I didn't. No, get out of here. So I would start off with that, and then I would cut into the notorious, and then go into a
Such
bit
a
of Biggie.
Conor McGregor simp you are.
Damn
right?
right. So I would be
So
inclined to do Sinead O'Connor, but
You've picked nothing original then. You've picked one song from one.
nah,
person
Marching
and
On
one song
Together.
from-
I would
Well,
love
I
to do
think
Marching
you has-
On Together because that would just it would get me going. It would get me in the mood for a bit of a tear
No, I
up.
think you has
And then-
probably the most
115. If anyone knows 115, I'd go for that tune.
amazing ring walk. But Turbio comes out to no music. Like literally just darkness, no music. That's just straight action.
Have you seen the Mike Tyson one I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Just
the chains, yeah.
Just the sound of like clinking.
By the
chains
way,
and
it's
gates.
you said about the motorbike jackets. They do call him Scooter.
Yeah, Scooter.
Is that
that's
why?
that's what they call him, Scooter.
Is that because he's got a love of bikes or something?
I personally don't know. When I
Because he's got like motorbike jackets on.
People
people call him like obviously they say Cool Boy Steph, but when I first went there, the only name I didn't hear School Boy. I
Scooter.
only heard. So when I put in the chat the other day, are you guys covering the Scooter fight? That's what they actually call him, Scooter.
I did not know what that meant. I was like, brother.
That's what they call him, Scooter. I don't know why though. To this day, I don't know why.
It would appear that he's got a love of bikes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he likes the other kind of
I just
scooters.
realised it's Philly.
2 wheels.
It's a very Philadelphia thing, isn't it? The
Yeah,
motorbikes,
yeah,
the
yeah,
scooters,
yeah. Oh, yeah, the
quad
bike. Yeah,
bikes.
yeah,
They all,
true,
Philly's
true.
big
I
into
thought it was
bike
Philly was in cheese.
No, but if you-
A city can be into multiple things.
If you
like
go,
that.
there's a street called Broad Street where Meat Mill.
I've been to
I'm
Broad
a
Street.
boss, yeah. Where they just be riding
They all
bikes
do the
all day.
wheelies and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I used to have family in Philly. Sorry.
They move away
Big-
or what? What do you mean?
No, they're still there.
They disown you or something.
No, they're still
He said
there.
he used to have family there, bro.
Yeah, I used to go there. I haven't been there for many years, but yeah, Philly.
Yeah.
North Philly as well. There's a lot of Jamaicans in Philly.
That's the rough part of Philadelphia, North
Do you know
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big Jamaican population in Philadelphia.
Trust.
That's why I'm kind of thinking that Boots Ennis. I know a few. You know a few
Ennis,
Jamaicans as well
yeah.
with that surname. I'm wondering
Ennis,
if Boots
yeah.
Ennis probably got some
Where is
Jamaican
he?
antecedents.
What does he say? Where's he from?
Who? Philadelphia.
No. Heritage-wise.
We don't know.
Well, we don't know. African American, but
African Americans. You know, a lot
but
of them
I'm
don't know the
suspecting that
heritage.
there might be a Jamaican.
We know Errol Spence is.
Yep.
When
Yeah,
they
yeah,
say
yeah.
Errol Spence say, bro,
That's
we
why I'm
smoke on
rocking-
bud, bro.
That's why I've got to rock with
We
my boy
smoke
Errol
on bud,
Spence.
bro.
It would appear that we're getting the Japanese national anthem.
No,
seeing
this is-
hands on the chest there.
Disrespect to the Japanese national anthem or the American national anthem. Right now, I just want to see fighting, bruv. Like,
No, you
it's
got to
a
respect
joke.
the
See, they're
national
all
anthem.
still masked up over there.
But they do that regardless. Even before COVID, they were masked up, bro.
Yeah, they do that.
They have bad pollution.
I
in Japan.
have
I'm
to
actually
say,
scoring this fight, by the way.
I score every fight.
I'm not sure on Fulton's trim, I have to say. I don't get why he has that one little strand. Like he's
The
got
rat
that
tail.
little-
It's the Obi-Wan connect. You don't know about the rat tail?
Yeah, I'm not sure
What
about
is the
that, mate. Look,
significance of
I
that?
have one. I have a big man bum myself, so I can't really talk. But
if
the
I
rest of my hair is long.
had a pick need, I'd rather him have a rat tail than a man bun.
No,
personally.
but as in he, no, fair enough. But I'm
A
saying
man
the way
bun.
he has like
That don't
Shane's,
really-
he has like Shane's trim, but then one little just
That don't
tail
really
sticking
sound
out the end of
for
it.
us as Jamaicans. That don't really sound
What's a
right.
man bun?
A man bun.
I have a
that
man
sounds
bun.
mad.
Bun out man.
He's talking to you.
This is a man bun.
You're saying bun out man. What are you saying? You're on some Capleton thing. Anyway, we won't go there.
Yeah, come on, this is a PG show.
Let's stick
Come
to
on, lads.
boxing, shall we?
Yeah.
Hey, Laurie makes me die sometimes. Bro. I swear to God.
Is that a Japanese guy Fulton's got in his corner there?
I didn't even see.
Yeah, there was somebody walking out with them, but I didn't know. He's in a suit and that. So
Right, so let's go around the table quickly and get our predictions before the fight starts. Shane, I think I know where this is going.
Cool boy Steph on points, bro.
Points.
I'm starting to change my mind, yeah. But I said yesterday, not yesterday. I said last week, Inoue late stoppage. So I'm just going to stay with it.
I'm going with Inoue on points. I do want
Inoue on
Steph
points?
to win because I do like Fulton and I've got friends and family in Philly and they tell me a lot of good things about this guy. So I'm kind of leaning towards him. But I do like Inoue as well. But listen, man, I hope Fulton wins, but I just think that Inoue, the fight being in Japan, he's got the most power.
Yeah.
Do
just
you
think that-
think he would win? Like, let me.
I think if the fight was in Philly, I would go for Fulton.
You think so? Inoue is going to win fairly on points. That's what you think.
Yes.
He's going to win fairly on points.
I have to agree with that. I think I second a lot of what you said earlier when you given your analysis, Nick. I think going in at the
Just think
height
that
of
Inoue's
you,
got more ways to win.
yeah, going in at your height at around 5'5", he is going to have to get in there close. He is going to have to get in, get out, try and use his power. And I think if he is going to win this fight on points, which I think he has. I think he has to show his power early on. He has to get Fulton to respect him by hitting him with a couple of big shots in the second or third round to get Fulton second guessing, and then I think you'll start to see him pick him
Judges
out
are from
technically.
Canada, Italy, and Spain.
All I'm saying is, if Fulton wins this, you lot are gonna see a massive celebration from me because I'm the
I hope
only
you're
one.
right.
I'm the only one going Fulton on this.
I hope he wins,
people
but
look, mate,
I see it,
I like both guys. You know, I have respect to both
Live
guys,
studio
but I
audience.
just think Inoue will
Who's
win.
winning? Fulton. Our live studio audience is going for Fulton as well.
I
So,
hope Fulton wins.
3
like I said,
Inoues
I've
and
got-
1 Fulton.
I've got Philly connections.
But
However, being logically, I think Inoue has more ways to win.
I think there's only one thing Inoue does better than Fulton, and that's punch power. I don't think he does anything else better than Fulton. He hasn't got better defense, and to me, he doesn't have the same offensive repertoire because he can only fight at one range.
Fulton does
Fulton does
like
get
to
hit.
stay in the pocket. He does get hit. He likes to
And he's
trade.
got way better defense in the pocket than Inoue.
Yeah.
And down the stretch, we've seen Inoue fade. We've never seen Fulton fade, but we will see.
That's true.
Yeah, Fulton's built for a longer fight for sure. That's
He's
that's
also
that's why I'm going stopping.
physically bigger and stronger.
But come on, man, let's just see.
How
this
is he
fight.
also going to adapt to fighting at this strange time for him? Usually he's used to fighting at 9-10 o'clock US time. Is the jet lag or whatever going to play an effect on
He's
him? I
been
know
there
he's
for a
probably
couple of days, couple of weeks
acclimatized.
still.
Yeah,
He's
he's
been
probably
there for a couple of
acclimatized to it a little bit, but still not natural for him
True.
to be fighting
That's
at
a
this
good
time.
point. That's a good point.
So that could play an effect.
That's a good
3
point.
wins and world title fights already with no KOs.
But they've all been against good quality
Top
opponents.
fighters. Roman and
Brandon Figueroa was a serious win. That was a very
Figueroa
good-
was coming off the knockout win of but was it Lewis Neri?
Ooh, not sure I look that. He looked a
and
little
Figueroa
bit
is a
sloppy on
big
his head.
dude.
Trust me,
Throws a lot of punches.
he's
strong.
he's significantly bigger than Fulton.
Yeah.
He looks a bit wobbly on his legs to me.
He does have a Japanese guy in the corner. Well, someone who
Fulton's just been introduced.
Will he be
Looks towards
riding
the
out on that scooter with his hand held in victory? That's the question. If that's
would
the question,
the, I'm not gonna lie
That
though.
ring looks a little small. Yeah,
If he wins, it would be a what's it called though? It would be
Be an
one
upset.
of the best away wins from an American
it would be an
fighter
upset.
in a long time.
Smash the like button, guys, and get your predictions in the chat. It's pretty split in the chat. Some people saying, do you know what is in the chat right now? People are very, very set on who they're going for. They're saying it's Inoue easy. You don't understand. The guy's a surgeon, and then it's bro Fulton is too technical. He's going to take him apart. So it's like
That's the beauty
extreme
of this
confidence.
Bryce is a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. 50-50, but like I said, the fact that the fight is in Japan, I just give...
But does a Nue's
Japan
punch power?
versus all physical and technical attributes. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if Japan I say all physical and technical attributes, and I've gone for the guy who doesn't know. but still.
But it's like, does his power translate to 122? That's what I call my
I think when
question.
you're a
So we're about
big
to find
puncher
out.
like that, I think it does, man.
I think it does as well.
It's translating
I
up,
think
right?
it
Not
does.
translating down. So
But
And
he's
the-
fighting
and
the guys who's used to fighting guys who's got more power.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Not more
Yeah.
power than Inoue, but
Yeah, yeah.
more power than who Inoue's used to fighting.
yeah.
Like, Figueroa could crack. Figueroa was a
So hang on a minute. So
knockout.
they introduced Fulton first.
Yeah. Bro, I just want to see
Maybe
this
that was the
fight at
compromise
this stage.
for the
bro.
ring
This
war.
is
Yeah.
compromise.
That's what they spent an hour
Right,
negotiating.
they come to the center of the ring, and the first thing that you can see is that Fulton is the bigger man.
Fulton not looking
he
at
looks
him.
a lot bigger. That doesn't
He
look
does.
like a 1 inch height.
Neither frame neither.
Yeah, he looks way
One-
bigger.
This,
one
this,
and a
this
half
first
inch,
round is going
I'll
to
have
be
you
very
know.
interesting.
1.5 inches.
That half inch is very vital.
That's what my missus says.
Fulton's got a 3-inch reach advantage. We're underway. First
3.5
round after
inch
long
reach
last.
advantage. Let me correct you there. And as Nick knows, a lot
Right,
can be
start
done.
it.
Inoue
Let's
Inoue
go.
already has the center of the
ring,
ring.
which I expected him to have. If Fulton takes that punch early and he eats it quickly and it doesn't do nothing to him,
That's
he should
the
have
thing,
an easier
dude.
fight.
Inoue
Body
to the
shot,
body
nice
there.
body shot there.
Yeah.
That's what he's gonna have to do, in and out, nice and quick. I know he's close, but he's not too close. He's not gonna stay in too
A
long.
lot of people said that Fulton has to be either all the way in or all the way out. If he's at
I don't-
mid-range,
I
if
think
he's at
I
mid-range,
think-
he's at
disagree.
risk of getting caught.
I think all the way in is where he has to be. All the way in the whole fight. Because Inoue doesn't fight at a high tempo all the way through. He fights in spurts. So get him fighting at a high tempo, fighting your pace.
Unnecessary risk to be all the way in all the time. If he's a better boxer, he doesn't need to do that. It's unnecessary risk. Their toes just little touching there.
He's the better inside fighter, though.
Inoue's not used to going backwards. He's not used to that. So just be on the inside straight
Good jab
away.
to the body by Fulton.
What is wrong with that camera, by the way? Why is there like a big blue
I thought the
filter
same
over
thing
it?
as well.
It's so weird. And they've only just brought the scorecard up now.
After a minute.
The production on this has been slightly
You can
questionable.
tell that's a good shot from Inoue.
Beautiful jab, yeah.
I don't think Fulton should be on the back foot too much. in
No,
this
me
fight.
neither.
That's why I said
he's
he's got to earn his respect quickly with a big
And I
shot
don't
here.
think his foot
Inoue.
placement is all the way there neither.
Nice,
Beautiful, there
nice
you
try
go.
for the right hand there. Nice attempt at it. I think Inoue's read Fulton's game plan really, really well to know that he's going to be the one to step in, push the action,
Jab by Inoue.
Yep.
and just catching him. That's what it's about, timing. Inoue's going to have to fight like this and pick his moments to be aggressive.
This is where Fulton has a little bit of an advantage. Inside fighting, I think Fulton is a bit more accomplished.
And he's bigger and heavier.
Literally.
He can lean on someone.
But that's where usually the shorter man thrives, is in the inside fighting. Though.
Not
Shorter
when-
arms,
not-
shorter
not-
reach, you can
not
generate
when-
more power.
But Fulton's comfortable on the inside, like proper comfortable. That's why I want to see him all the way in.
He's falling short with a jab.
Very.
Inoue's got that range a little bit quicker.
Yeah,
Big miss with the right hook. He's got that range.
Definitely.
Into the last
But
30 seconds.
he is loading up on shots Inoue. He's trying to load up on shots. I
I'm
don't
not
think
liking the way that he's stepping back. Fulton
Inoue's
looks
having
a
a
bit.
good round. to be
Definitely.
honest.
Fulton looks a bit heavy on his feet almost.
I don't think he's heavy on his feet.
Like
I just
his legs are,
I
like,
think he's
giving
been
away
very
beneath him.
negative. Which I'm.
Is he normally a slow start? He's not found the range yet.
No.
He's not found the range just
It's
yet.
like he's not
All the
balancing his
timing.
weight.
Oh,
A bit of a stumble there, but I think Inoue looks a little sharper.
interesting. The
quicker.
ref letting that go. Okay, now
He's-
he comes in. He's interesting. He let that go. Could've gone a
Inoue's
bit quicker.
fighting rough, but
He's gonna have to.
I really don't like it when they
Inoue's
switch that
round for
camera.
me.
Definitely one round to Inoue. I'm wondering what the mindset of Fulton was in that fight, because he was just.
I think his
overall
mindset
negative.
was to take a look, but Inoue wanted to get stuck in straight away. That's what I mean, to me, I think Inoue clearly won that round.
Yeah, he did. That's not even a
I think
question.
Fulton was out of range of his jab a little bit as well. Lots to work on. I think if I'm Fulton's coach, I'm saying, listen, man, you got to get a bit closer, land that jab.
Definitely.
I'll tell you one thing I didn't like is the fact that he got backed up in that round quite easily. I was
Like he
expecting
just
him
gave
to
up ground.
Yeah,
He just
yeah.
gave up ground, which it could just put your point of he's just trying to have a look. But at the same time, Inoue did set a high pace. Can he maintain that pace over 12? Because we don't see him fight this. Normally he gets guys out of there after a certain time. So, and there was a few clinches in there. So we'll see
Definitely
how it goes.
Inoue's round. I think we all
Depends on
agree
his
on that.
mentality as well. Isn't from the way he's boxed there, Inoue's not expecting to get him out of there in 3-4 rounds. He's expecting a longer fight, which is good.
Good jab again.
Good shot. Oh, good
right
shot.
hand.
Fulton is not looking.
No, he's not.
Oh,
Can't
He's
get
looking
too
stiff.
excited.
That's what I mean, look at the way
Inoue's
he's
going for
wobbling
it.
there.
Fulton's laughing, but he's nothing funny about
He has
getting
to be
caught.
nice and disciplined and not get over.
I think
Look
he was
at
hurt.
his
you know?
footwork
me as well.
looking
I think he was
questionable.
hurt.
I think he's overly cautious of the power. He
Yeah.
literally looks overly cautious of the power. This reminds me of when
Oh,
Look at the way he's stepping backwards, though. I don't know if it's just that he's hurt or if he's getting an adrenaline dump or so he's not used to the time
definitely
or
think
something,
one
but
of the-
something doesn't
I'll tell you
look
what
right
happened.
with
He
him.
got hurt.
Yeah, he got hit with a good
He's-
shot.
He's felt the power and thought, oh crap,
Yeah.
it's real, you know.
Literally.
Look at that.
Woo.
I knew we're doing really well trying to cut off.
But
the range.
sometimes if you
Offensively,
oversight
he hasn't
yourself
done
up and you
anything.
have an adrenaline dump, then you'll
Offensively-
feel the power a lot more.
Fulton hasn't done anything offensively. He hasn't done anything
I knew it
offensively.
saying no chance.
He's looked a lot slower than Inoue.
Inoue's got maybe faster hands.
already Inoue's.
Put on the show.
No,
for
you
the
know, I
crowd.
think it is. I don't think Fulton has good
Oh,
enough
look at those
defense.
combinations.
I think his coaches need fixing.
I don't think he don't know what the
Oh,
game
look
plan
at this! Is a lot clearer looking through this camera. I can actually see what's going on now.
Don't know what the game plan is here at all. But he felt the power and he definitely got Fulton's
Yeah.
respect because he's so cautious going forward.
I feel like he might have even felt the power just
Great
on one or
jab.
two of the jabs, not even necessarily the power
Yeah,
punches,
facts.
just on the jabs and thought actually.
His jab is a lot sharper
going on here?
than
Just
Fulton's.
stepping on each other's
Got
feet.
you.
See, he's got to
He's beating
counter
him
that
to
jab.
the jab every time.
With 3
It looks
inches of less
tentative.
reach.
Very.
It's
Fulton
all
looks
about his legs.
tentative.
Look, he just shuffles that leg forward, just shuffles that foot forward, and that's when you know he's going to shoot.
Inoue's looking very
Sound.
confident.
Very
Bang.
comfortable. I don't know
Look,
what the
look
game
at that.
plan is at
Yeah.
all. He's just been defensive and running.
It looks like Inoue's got Fulton's game plan,
Big
like
right
knows
hook.
it, and
Looks
Fulton
like he got hurt
has
again, yeah?
predicted Inoue's game plan entirely wrong.
Completely.
It's like Fulton's riding away on his scooter. He's backpedaling.
Definitely.
I didn't-
And Inoue doesn't have to. He's controlling it right now. He doesn't even have to go for the knockout. I know he wants a knockout, but just be a little
That's
bit patient.
better.
Just
You
be a
got
little
to
bit
make
patient.
him back up,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
but
is
you
what I
could- you-
expected
you-
him to do in the first round.
Inoue could see that shot coming from yesterday, mate.
Literally. Literally.
He's loading up on it. He's getting a bit
It's not a very
nervous here.
good.
Caught.
Nice.
Got caught
Nice.
again.
Oh,
Got caught again. There is no pros I can take from this fight from Fulton so far. Absolutely not one at all.
I think if you're Fulton, you just want to stay in there.
Yeah.
Definite Inoue round.
stay in there. Looks like he wants to get out of there.
Bro, it looks, if the ring was big enough, he'd be running laps, bro. This is mad. Man's out of doing more
Once
Farah.
you see a fighter getting backed up that easy, it's not a good look.
Not at
Unless you're a big puncher yourself, then you say, well,
You're trying to
I'm
walk him
luring
onto
in.
it or something, but I thought this would be almost the other way around, in the sense that Fulton will be trying to win the early rounds, and then Inoue will be trying to look for the knockout. But I don't know the game plan at all. Whatever the game plan is, it ain't working.
It ain't working.
Whatever the game plan is, it ain't
the
working.
other thing is that Inoue is growing in confidence. You saw him sort of low-level showboating in that round,
Facts.
which means that he's tasted a little bit of Fulton's punching power, and he doesn't feel he has anything to worry
I
about.
don't even think he's felt the punching power.
I don't think he's felt the power.
He ain't
yet.
felt nothing, bro. Fulton ain't
No,
felt
he would have felt it on the gloves, though. You
Would have felt
can,
a
when
gust
you're in
of
there,
wind.
you can feel a man's strength and his power, even if they don't hit you cleanly.
What is the... Okay.
This is what Fulton needs to be doing. He's got
Nice
to, he's got
shuffle.
to try and back Inoue up. Obviously, that's what he's been told by his coaches. You can see the footwork there.
Inoue is just shooting slightly from the left.
But by doing that,
little shot, little step left.
but by doing that, you're in the pocket.
Oh,
to
it's a
get hit.
great left hand.
Ooh.
He's
No, but this is better from Fulton.
Great.
Even though-
He's getting clipped though.
I don't know if it is.
No, it is. You
getting
can't
clipped
fight
more
from
than
the
the
outside
Pentes.
like that. You've got to try and back him up. He's got to take that
look
risk.
at
He's
that.
lost the first 2 rounds comfortably. He's got to change things up. You've got to make adjustments.
That's true, actually, because Fulton's not coming here looking for a knockout, right, or expecting a knockout. So if he gets to round 5 and he hasn't really landed anything, significant, what does he do?
Or he
can't
hasn't
start-
won a round even.
He hasn't won a round. He
Man
can't
ain't
start
even
looking
won
for
a round.
knockouts.
Man ain't even won 10 seconds.
No, he's made a
of
better
round.
start in this round. He has.
No, but
Yeah,
he's
but
got caught
it's
with
not
better
really
shots.
saying much,
He
to
got
be
caught with
honest.
better shots, bro. He's been
No,
getting
but
caught
what I'm
every
trying to tell
second.
you, man, is staying on the outside like that is not doing anything.
Bro,
You've got to try and-
nothing he's
but
done
Once
better
Inoue
enough
gets 3 or
so
4
far.
rounds up, it's really going to play into his hands the more Fulton comes forwards. He'll have to come forwards.
No, but what
And
I'm
every
saying-
time Fulton
I know
is
what you're
coming
saying,
forward,
yeah.
he's
From a
getting
He's got to
clipped.
try something different. The first 2 rounds were too easy.
He's got to walk forward.
Yeah.
I agree,
No
but
point.
he's
But-
walking onto shots right now.
But he has
every
to
time
walk
he does.
forward. He has to walk forward.
He does.
Because he's the bigger guy. You have to go on the inside. You're only going to beat this guy on the inside. Right now, this fight has been taking place at long range and mid range, and he's been beaten at both ranges so far.
But he is the bigger guy. He should be proficient in those areas.
This is better. He's actually making Inoue
Not from what
take
I
a
can
step
see.
backwards.
No, I can see him losing this round as well.
No, he is, but he should theoretically.
He's having a
Be
better round
proficient
than
in
the
those
first 2.
longer
That's the point
ranges.
I'm trying to make. The tactics have to change.
Bro, Inoue looks proper slick, boy. I'm not
So
even
there
going
it
to
is
lie.
again. It's the legs. The legs are telegraphing each punch. Not telegraphing, but
It's
that's
the
how you
speed.
He
can
should have followed up there.
Yeah.
He
It's the
should have
speed as
followed
well.
up there.
He's very sharp. This is a better round for Fulton, funny enough.
Do you think Fulton's realised that maybe Inoue's power isn't quite enough to
think
get him
he's
out
got
of
a
there?
gamble.
No, he's got a
I think
gamble.
he's
He's
got a
got a
gamble.
gamble.
He doesn't want to be doing what he's doing right now, but he has to. He wants to sit back and shoot from there and win that jab. That's what he wants to be doing, and that's what we all expected he would
See,
be
the-
doing,
the-
but he
the-
can't.
He couldn't win a jab from the NHS at the moment, let alone against Inoue.
The issue that seeing with Fulton is he's trying to exchange 1 for 1, which I didn't expect. I expected him to try and up the output a bit more. I thought he would have had the higher punch output than Inoue, which we're not seeing.
To be fair to Fulton, though, he's kept a poker face. He's not showing any signs of distress.
It's not done nothing, though. It's not done anything.
He's losing the round.
But he's comfortably.
Yeah,
it's not even competitive.
There
he's bluffing. He's gone all in with a 2 and a 3, and he's getting called.
It's not even competitive.
Nose is
I would say
bloody already as well. He doesn't want to sit down.
I think he's a bit frustrated.
He's got to be frustrated. He's frustrated with himself.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, well, he's been sat there for an hour and a half waiting to fight, and now he's got out of here and he's getting clipped. That's got to play into it as well, the wait before the fight.
I don't know.
It's got to play frustration-wise.
I don't think it's this.
There were fights that ended by knockout.
I'm not saying that's the only reason, but I'm saying frustration-wise.
There were fights that ended by knockout and by stoppage. If those fights all go 12 rounds, he's got to wait that same length of time anyway.
If I'm Fulton, the coach, I'm telling him first and last. He's trying to exchange 1 for 1s. You got to be first, you got to be last. These are the type of fights where if you allow the other guy to pot shot, he's gonna beat you because he's obviously got his timing more. You got to land 4s for his 1, 5s for his 1.
It's already getting to that stage where it's looking a bit concerning if he's lost the first 3 rounds.
Right.
Like
he has to win this round.
But like we said, he's the guy that we're expecting to win on points. If it stays like this for 3 or 4 more rounds, he's basically lost.
Basically,
because if he tries to charge in and go for a KO, he's going to get himself hurt.
He's not going to get a KO, so he needs to up the
right hand. Inoue just throwing 1s and 2s now rather than throwing 1s.
See where I'm saying Fulton's waiting. You can't wait when you're in the pocket. You have to throw. See, you have to be throwing there. I want to see more of that.
That's better.
You know what I would say as well? I think Inoue's hand speed is clearly superior as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a quicker shot.
But his feet is being set much better as well.
Yeah.
Like
big jab.
First and last. Come on, bro. You can't wait. You can't. In that range there, you have to throw. Even here. See, you have to continue throwing. You have to follow him through.
Fulton's the bigger guy, but if you look at the size of their legs, Inoue's got that explosive leg power. And that's where he's driving that power from.
You see what I'm saying? He's just, you know who used to suffer from this as well? Tevin Farmer, and it's no surprise that he's from Philadelphia as well. Where you just wait too long, you just got to throw. You can't wait for the perfect shot to land. You got to
double jab there by
I agree with you though, Nick. That's what I'm saying. Fulton's too top heavy for me. From the jump, I said he doesn't look comfortable in his legs. Something about it. It's reminiscent of a drunk man on stilts at times here.
You've got the blue filter
kind of strangling. Yeah, what is this camera? What are they playing at? They had some black and white camera lens in their ring walk, and they got this blue filter here. Can't see anything.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh,
see, that's where you got to hold your feet there and follow him up.
But yeah, he's got
follow him up.
He's got such small legs.
You have to follow him up.
He's got such small gangly legs. When he does get pushed back with a shot, it looks really ungainly because his legs are so little.
This is not good.
Oh, got him with a good jab there, though.
Nose is really starting to bleed a little bit now.
I think we're starting to see why they call Inoue that monster because look at that.
This is a terrific performance from Inoue. This is a terrific performance.
And he's doing it to a very accomplished champion.
He
hurt him there.
Starting to tee him off.
Fulton needs something, doesn't he? He's trying.
He needs one power punch. I know it's not going to knock him out, but he's got to change the momentum a little bit. He's offered nothing. He's offered nothing to make Inoue back up.
He's got to punch more. He's got to throw more. He has to throw more.
Yeah.
His punch output is way too low.
You get this sometimes with some over.
See, that's where you want the fight to be. That's where you want the fight to be. That's where. See, you can't take that step back. You have to go forward. You can't take that step back.
No, but it's the power though.
No, bro. You're in a fight. You're in a fight. You can't take that step back. I'm not a professional fighter, am I? But
it's very easy for you to say that. The man's getting popped.
Bro, that's where the fight has to be.
That's another Inoue round.
Comfortably.
Listen, no one else has done this to Fulton. You gotta give credit to Inoue.
Of course.
No one else has done this to him.
Of course.
4-0 for me. I think
there's a question.
I think it's a pretty easy fight to score.
And if it carries on like this in the next 2 rounds, then guaranteed Inoue win. Because Fulton's not knocking him out.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you that for nothing.
From Inoue's perspective, he thinks if he can do this for 2 or 3 more rounds, the fight's over.
But this is why I'm saying you got to throw caution to the wind. Because
I think it's a bit too
He's
early to
trying
throw
to.
caution to the wind.
No, it's not too early.
It's not too early. It's not too early.
Do you
because
think-
you have
okay.
to?
Well, you want him to get knocked out in 4 rounds.
You have to increase the punch output. You have to increase the punch output because
No, but listen
the
to what you're
stamina's
saying.
on your side.
Hang
The
on.
stamina's on your
hang
side. You have
Listen to
increase
what
the
you're
punch
saying.
output.
You're saying throw caution to the wind against a big puncher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, after 3 rounds, 4 rounds.
Yeah.
You got to step to him.
You got, but you can't throw caution to the
All right.
wind, bro.
I think so.
Laurie,
He's
do
being
you
way
see,
too cautious.
Laurie,
Way
do you
too
see
cautious.
Fulton knocking Inoue out?
No, but what I'm
Okay,
saying
but
is,
then if he loses the next 2 rounds,
yeah,
then he's lost
that's
the
2
fight.
rounds. But you're
So he has to throw caution to the wind now. Otherwise, he's got 2 more
It's
rounds.
getting to
lose.
that point, but I'd still think after 3 rounds, 4 rounds, you've still got to be.
This is the 5th
You don't
round.
know.
See, then you got to follow up. You can't
If he
just-
doesn't win this or the next round, he's lost the fight.
You see what I'm saying when Inoue is allowing Inoue to tee off? You got to be teeing off with him. You have to tee off
How
with
many
him.
fights have we seen, guys, over the years where a fighter has just won the first 5-6 rounds? Saw that.
Yeah, but
Good, nice.
Usually-
The other fighter comes back and wins the
I'll
next
tell you
6.
what Inoue's doing really well. First couple rounds, he's throwing 1s. Rounds
This
3
is
and
good defense
4,
by
he's
Fulton.
throwing 2s. And now,
Whoa,
Good
there we
shot.
go.
Follow
That's
up.
better.
Follow up. You have
Now
to
he's starting to
follow
throw
up.
combinations.
You got to follow up there. That's
round
horrible.
5, Fulton's just landed his first significant blow of the fight.
And then just let him walk off. And just let him walk
no,
off. You
Inoue
can't
come
do
back
that.
onto him. Yeah.
You lot are carrying on like the man's fighting a journeyman or something.
No,
Look at that
we're
shot
not.
there.
No, we're not.
Doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference, Laurie. It doesn't make a
Shane's
difference.
moving like
It
that.
honestly doesn't make a difference. There's
good
only one
shot,
way you
good
can
shot.
win, and that's by throwing. You're not going to win by just pot shotting. You're not going to win like that. It's very easy to see. He's going to out punch you at every range other than close. You can clearly see
So you want
that.
him to go in there and land 5-6 punches? in
No,
one
you
shot?
got to exchange all the way through. You got to stay in the pocket, push the pace of the fight. That's you
Easier
have to
said
do
than
that.
done, my
Of
friend.
course, but that's why you get paid all that money.
Still not quite found the range, overshooting there. What he is doing well, when he's landing, he's kind of diving in. He's getting low and he's diving in off the back foot. And that's what he's
To be fair to Fulton, you can see he's trying. You can almost see him thinking, how do I get him?
Yeah, you can. You can.
And he is trying to back Inoue up.
No,
he
he
just
is.
can't do it consistely.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is
he seems
definitely
to
his
lack
best
the hand
round.
speed to throw combinations. He doesn't
Facts.
look like a combination fighter. He knows he can catch Inoue with a 1. He knows that, but he's gonna have to exchange and eat 2, and he doesn't want to do
Oh,
that.
look, he got caught
You
there
got to be
again.
throwing there though. You got to be countering. Even if you're slipping, slip with a
I
counter.
think what Shane's saying is he needs to use punches as a form of defense, and
Of
at the moment
course.
he's not doing that.
You
He's-
can't just defend because he's
moving
picking you
laterally,
off.
Yeah.
You know what it's like being 1-0 down against Man City and still
Trying to
having everybody
park the
behind
bus,
the
yeah.
ball. You have to go and get it. You can't just sit there because you're just going to lose.
Inter Milan did that. They almost nicked it at the end.
They
Well,
lost.
you ain't got the punch power though, so you're not going to nick
Yeah,
it. at the
they
end.
arguably it's the same thing. It's like having Romelu Lukaku up front.
Bro, it's exactly the same thing, bro. You got to go and get it, bro.
Fulton's growing into the fight, but it's too little too late. It's still going to be Inoue's round. Still landed more significant clean
This is
punches
his best round and he still lost it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And it
it's
sounds,
true.
I'm very, very animated right now.
Which
'cause
is
I want
why
him
I
to
agree with
win,
you.
bro.
I
But
see what you're
I'm just
saying, Laurie, that
frustrated.
if he tries to step on too much more, he is going to get clipped by Inoue. But what I'm saying is,
it
if he doesn't win the next round, he can't win the
Bro,
fight
it's
at all. So you
it's
have to
12
throw
ni-
caution to the wind now.
This is gonna be 12-0, you know. This is gonna. Have you ever seen a guy move up a weight class and fight the best and win 12-0? This is mad, bro. I'm not even gonna
This
lie.
is typical Philly
I'm not-
coaching.
I'm not
You know,
even gonna
throwing
lie.
enough-
Yeah? I'm
not
not even
gambling
gonna
enough.
lie. Yeah, Inoue.
If he had Shane McGuigan
If
in
he
his
wins
corner,
in
he
this-
would be winning this
If
fight.
he wins this fight, he's pound for pound number 1 for me. I don't care. If he wins this fight in the fashion that I'm seeing, he's pound for pound number 1 because Crawford's never done this before.
All right, Laurie, is it caution to the win time now, or is it still too
It's
early?
getting there. It's not there yet.
So he should
After
have
6
continued
rounds, it's
throwing.
caution
He's
to
got
the
to
wind.
continue throwing there.
No, but after 6 rounds, he can't win the fight.
Yes, he could win by knockout.
He's not. You told me he's not going to knock him out.
But
You
if-
know he's
if-
not going to
if-
knock
if
him
his
out.
team
I
know
could bag
that he's
Margot
probably
Robbie.
not
Not
gonna-
going to happen.
No, but what I'm saying, no. But what I'm saying is,
Bro, for me, he's lost. For me, there's no way he can win this fight. I think he's lost already. That's why he might as
You know
well
what
just
it
go
is?
balls to the wall.
Laurie's prediction looks like it could come right over Inoue on point, so that's why he's just playing it cool.
no. But what I'm saying is, you have to understand, you can't just go in there and just start.
You can,
swinging.
bro. You can. Why can't you? Why can't you? You can.
Okay,
Of course
you
you
can.
can.
Oh, he's running.
Okay, Shane, you can.
Why can't you? You're not giving me one reason why you can't.
Because he'll get knocked out.
Okay,
That's
get
why.
knocked out then.
Yeah,
Get knocked
yeah,
out. That's how you
yeah,
lose,
yeah.
bro. Champion, you do, bro. Great fighters have been knocked out before. You got
He's
to try
doing
and
his
win.
best. Let's see what happens.
I don't think it's his best to me.
He's doing what he can.
I don't think it's his best. I guarantee you after
best
the
is
fight.
not good enough so far.
I guarantee you after the fight, he's gonna say he's not doing his best. I guarantee you. I guarantee he's gonna say I got the
He
game
probably
plan
will
wrong.
say that, but I agree with Laurie a bit. You can see him trying. You can see him thinking about it. He's maybe thinking too much, to be
Bro,
honest
this
with you.
guy
Maybe he's overthinking it.
This guy has kept his hands in his pocket the whole
What
fight.
I'm saying is very easy for people like Shane to say, go out there, throw 8-9 punches.
I
at a
didn't
time.
say throw 8-9 punch. I said hold your
Throw
feet.
caution to the wind is what you
Yeah,
said.
well, of course. If you want to win,
After 4 rounds.
I have a
don't
very
think that's-
ambitious mindset. You have a loser's mindset, so that's the difference. You want him to lose, and I want him to win. There's a difference.
That's crazy. But anyway, he's 5-zip down. I think we all agree
It's
on
going to
that.
be 12-0, I'm telling you. Unless Inoue takes a round off.
Oh, look
Nice,
at that.
starting to tee off.
Beautiful.
Nice. It just moves around him as well. As soon as he puts the gloves on,
His
moves around
lateral
him.
movement is
Very good.
it's sending Fulton
Good
into
shot.
a spiral.
See, Fulton lands when he launches. He lands when he
Can't-
lands
you
when
gotta
he
Mate,
launches.
he
constantly.
couldn't land on Heathrow Airport,
He just
let alone
landed on him. He
Inoue.
just landed on him there.
Yeah, well, once in a blue moon, mate.
I said once in a blue
You
filter.
verse expressions with your
What's in a
expressions would
blue
be fantastic. I'm not going to lie.
Doesn't make any sense.
You couldn't land on Heathrow Airport. What the flip?
Oh, man.
Twos and threes. Like I said, the twos and the threes are coming out. The combinations are starting to come out. Inoue punching from
To
different
be fair,
angles.
Inoue throwing 2s and 3s from the start of this.
Literally.
No, he was throwing what the first two
Round, he was
rounds, just throwing
singles. He's moving like Adrian Brown in a strip club, just singles.
Oh, that's a good job.
Nice jab. Yep.
But it's one.
then Inoue
he
comes
waits.
back and lands 4-5.
You not see a trend. Whenever Fulton puts his hand up, Inoue throws. If you throw and initiate the exchange, Inoue is gonna step back. You have to get him going backwards. If you just keep your hands in your pocket, you ain't gonna throw. You ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, and Fulton's also not throwing any combinations or even twos. I mean,
You know
it's
what
all
this fight's
singles.
like? This fight is like just a onslaught, non-stop onslaught.
I think what it is, what we're seeing as well, I think it's important to note that because Fulton, so far anyway, has not even come close to hurting him.
Or winning a round.
Inoue can afford to take chances, and that's
Yeah.
what he's doing.
I do think that, like, I agree with what
You
James
see
is
what I'm saying? That's
Oh, look!
oh, it's a
It
round.
looks-
That's where I want to see the fight all day. That's
Wait,
where I wanna see
hang
the
on,
fight
hang
all day.
on. Nick agrees with something I'm saying. I want to hear this.
Like with Fulton's body, it looks like obviously this is his body. He's used to his weight, but it just looks like his top half is too heavy for his bottom half because his legs he can move, but
He's gonna say
his
he's-
top half has got no movement to
No.
it. To it, it's very very stiff. There's no combinations, no
See
double
more
jabs,
movement
no
in a
nothing.
still image, mate.
He's got. This is gonna be like. He's gonna say, "Oh, I was too heavy for the weight." That's what he's gonna say, bro.
He's going to say his costume was too
I want to
heavy.
see what
He's
my
going to
Philly
pull a
dudes are
Deontay
saying.
Wilder.
I want to see what my Philly dudes are saying right now. Oh, there's no VAR for this fight. One person said that.
Oh, okay.
Someone
Here
said that.
come the
I'm just listening to the
excuses.
Philly fighters.
Too much Philadelphia cheese.
This has been a chasing experience so far for Fulton.
Jeff said Fulton's gonna have to go all out. He's getting outboxed at this point.
He is.
Well, yeah, he has to win all 6 rounds.
Jeff, I'm listening to the chat and I'm
He has to go all guns blazing podcast style. If you know what I mean.
bruh.
If you catch my drift.
If he's not going to knock him out now, I mean, 6 rounds are done. If this next round goes to Inoue comprehensively, then it looks like the fight's pretty much over, and then it's just a waiting game to see whether or not Inoue
can
can
win
tee off
one
enough
round.
and knock. No, but if he can knock him out, or if he's just going to take it on
The
points.
one thing I would say is I'm surprised Fulton hasn't gone to the body a bit more.
I'm
Okay,
surprised.
he's not
You gotta
catching
be
it to
close
the head.
enough to
he's
go
got-
to the
he's-
body, bro.
No, but even when he has been in range, he's not really
Do you know
gone
what
to
it
the
is?
body.
I think more than being scared of the power, he's terrified of the hand speed. If he tries to throw to the body, he's getting 2 to the head. And regardless of what you think about a 1-to-1 body to head ratio, a 2-to-1 head to body ratio is even worse.
It's even worse, bro.
So,
You're coming out, bro. You're coming out.
the hand speed
horrible.
is the thing I think has shocked him the most. The power is obviously a concern. But
that's a
look,
good
right there,
shot.
every time he tries to throw a punch, Inoue's there.
No, but you know why? Because he's just throwing a single on his way. See, for me, you got to step. You got to step forward with your shots.
Oh, that's
What a
Good
good
right
shot.
hand. Good right hand.
Stay there. Don't
right
step
hand.
off. Stay there. Oh,
And look
that's
at that.
my point.
I
You
think that
he
right
just
hand
stepped off?
actually hurt Inoue a little bit. Not a lot.
But
But
what did he do?
But
He just
immediately
stepped off, bro.
and
You can't step off.
He's trying to
You gotta stay in there. And I actually think Fulton's winning this round as well. That's the funniest thing. But he's just stepping off.
Yeah, to wait
Too
till round
little,
7
too
to win
late
a
then.
round is crazy.
It's madness.
So now Inoue only needs to win one round for the rest of the fight. And
Man's
then
doing a Lomachenko right now. You think Inoue's just biding his time and waiting for the right shot?
Oh, good
No,
job.
yep, he's-
Good combination.
Look at that, mate.
Oh, he's
I
backed
will
into-
say
he's
this
backed
though,
up.
for all the
The
criticism I'm
speed.
giving Fulton's got a good chin though. He's taking some real good shots. Normally guys will be out by this time.
Or really shaky.
Literally. Good shot
shot.
again.
It's returned by Inoue.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't follow up.
Felton tend to keep the shots up.
All I'm saying is
He's getting Inoue the pocket very well.
Fulton needs to go out with Adrian
that double
Broner
jab.
after this.
So he's
He
backing
needs to
off
throw a
though.
double
This
jab.
is
He
like
needs to throw a
watching
double
Adrian
jab.
You can't
Broner.
get no power on those shots back.
Yeah, but those jabs are like, get off me. Like
This
he's
is-
But
scared.
they're-
It's
they're-
not
they're
an
scoring
assertive jab.
It doesn't matter. They're all
I'm not so
scoring
sure
jabs.
if Fulton
but
has
look,
won
he's
this
getting
round.
this-
You know, he
on
not
his neck
anymore. I mean,
for
after
real.
a minute he had, not now. You know what I think this fight reminds me of? Remember Mikey Garcia versus Adrian Broner? That's what this fight reminds me of. Where Adrian Broner just threw nothing, absolute nothing, and just getting pieced up.
Oh, look at that. That left jab, left hook combo is beautiful.
Anyway, thinking about going for the kill. He's not.
Whoa!
Oh,
He's,
oh, here he
he's
is.
Good
thinking
shot.
about it. He's thinking about being aggressive.
You'd have
oh,
thought,
good dodge.
You'd have thought Fulton was the punch, the
puncher,
the
yeah.
puncher.
Oh, he's caught him with a
For
good
sure.
jab
He's
there.
just relying on one big shot.
You know what?
It's
That's a
probably
better
Inoue's
round for Fulton, but I still can't give it to him.
I
man.
still can't give it
I
to him.
can't give it to him.
Yeah,
I
fits
can't
into
give
this
it.
round again.
It is, yes, to knock him out now.
Bro, he had to knock him out from round 4, bro. Did you not see the... Bro, you...
No, I did. I'm saying now
I
it is
don't-
mathematically impossible
Where
for him
you
to
guys
do
were,
anything about
I
knocking him out.
was 3 rounds ago, bro. I saw this a long time
No,
ago.
I said that as well, but I'm saying now
No, you did.
mathematically...
Laurie didn't.
Mathematically, he cannot win on points now. Unless if he drops him.
The
in a
only
couple
way he's
times.
going to win this fight
From
is
this-
if suddenly Inoue's gas tank just diminishes and he just...
Or if a couple of men from Philly come over with some brown envelopes. Couple of
So
suited
we've
up
had
ones.
7 rounds
And
and,
it's
I've gone
7-0.
7-zip.
Yeah,
to
7-0.
Inoue.
James,
But
7-0?
7-0.
7-0.
Bro, it maybe even be 8. One of them rounds I could
This
give
is
10-8.
looking like
I'm not even going to
Liverpool
lie.
Man United
One of them
right now.
rounds I could give it
I think what
10-8.
we're seeing is Shane being emotional. It's 7-zip.
Definitely, I'm 1,000,000% emotional right now. I'm pissed, fam. I am annoyed, bro. This guy's just not doing what I wanted him to
Are
do.
you sure this guy's Jamaican?
He's not. No, he's not. He's not.
No, we said Ennis.
Don't do
Ennis.
that, bro. The Jamaican people have a reputation to hold on to.
Oh.
But you know what, as reputation or not, if a man's better than you, they're just better than
That's
you.
why
and I
I'm
think
not
that's
gonna,
what we're seeing here.
That's what I'm not gonna lie. Inoue, that's what I said. If he wins this fight and he continues in this fashion,
Pound
he's
for pound
pound for pound
performance.
number 1.
Here we're back to Fulton doing what I think he needs to
240.
do, which is back Inoue up. But he can't keep him backed up. See, there you go.
Because he
One
waited.
jab.
Because he waited. You don't wait. You just
Couldn't
continue
back up his
throwing.
hard drive, let alone Inoue.
Lateral movements. Really, great right hand. He could be done.
He's out.
He's
done. He could be
That's
done.
it. I think
He could
that's
be done.
it.
That's it.
I think that's it, you know.
He's
He's
gonna get up.
celebrating. No way. Look at
don't
that.
know
He's
where
done.
he
He's
is.
gonna. He's gonna.
Huh?
I think the ref
He
allows
done the
it.
right thing.
The ref's gonna allow it, and then he's done.
He's
Now he's
carried
done.
on. He's
Now
done.
he's done. Now he's done.
What is it? What's
Now-
going
To his
on?
corner.
What?
Now he's done.
Good
That
survival.
I thought that
There
was
was
a
a big
flat line.
knockdown. There was a big
he's
knockdown. The
done.
ref's gonna
He's
stop
done.
it.
Surely that's
He's done.
it. GG,
The
no
ref's
reason.
got to stop it now. He doesn't know
done.
where he is. He doesn't know where he is.
He's trying to fight
got a
back.
fight.
Does,
He's
no,
gone.
no, look at that.
Yeah,
That's
he's
it.
done.
Done.
That's
Oh,
it.
it's folded.
Stop it.
That is wow.
It wasn't
wow.
Yes, round 8.
Nearly a late stop.
Pound for pound number 1, bro.
Oh,
Pound for pound number 1.
That
is a terrific
first
performance.
knockdown.
That
That
was
first,
that-
that
honestly,
three-piece
pound for
and a
pound number
can
1.
of soda.
Bro, pound for pound number 1.
If that ended there, that would
Pound
have
for
been
pound number 1.
Fulton
Bro,
is...
pound for pound number 1.
I
period.
said
Pound for
I
pound
said I
number 1.
predict Inoue a
Pound
late
for pound number 1.
stoppage, and I said he's gonna have to fight a near perfect fight, and he did fight pretty much a perfect fight.
Not even near perfect. It was
Yeah,
terrific, bro.
perfect fight.
Wow.
What Inoue just done, I haven't seen any current fighter do. Pound for pound number 1, period. I haven't seen any current fighter do. Let's keep it real. Who's moved
You
up
know
a weight
what?
class
I
and knocked
have
out
to
the
say,
best fighter, bro?
I
Pound
did
for pound
say
number
before
1.
the fight
Canelo.
that depending on the manner
Nope.
of the victory,
Yeah.
I didn't have him in I had him in the lower regions of the top 10, and I said for him to crack that number 3, 2, 1, he would have to have a, convincing performance. But he's done better than I thought.
So people in the chat are asking who won. Inoue
by knockout.
stopped
in the 8th round.
Yeah, stopped Fulton in the 8th round KO. Clean.
But he won. It was a tremendous.
He outboxed him, then he knocked him out.
No, he didn't just outbox him. He beat him up.
Beat him up and
every
knocked him
single. I think
second of the fight.
I think Fulton maybe was within 30 seconds of that fight. But apart from that, he's won every.
That might even be
altogether.
A stretch.
That's altogether.
I was gonna say though, the reason why I say pound for pound number 1, and I'll say this comfortably, is because we don't see fighters move up one weight class, fight in his first fight, take on the best fighter at that weight class, and then knock them out. Bro, that is elite, bro. That is elite.
The composed manner in which he did it as well. He didn't rush. He didn't panic. He didn't try and get him out there too early. Each round, he stepped on the gas that little bit more, that little bit more, that little bit more. He allowed him to come onto him and just... Eventually, when he had him beaten and mentally destroyed, 8th round, stepped on the gas.
What this is like Canelo moving up to light heavyweight and knocking out Beterbiev. That's what he's basically done. That's what.
No, but you know
what
it is. When Canelo's moved up in fights, there's always been some dodgy stuff.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying.
No, seriously, with the catch weights and all the rest of it, this was legitimate. He went up in weight and he just ravaged Fulton, man. I'm sorry, he did. He absolutely beat him up and then knocked him out. And I thought Inoue would win.
There was VAR testing. There was VAR testing.
I thought he would win, but I never envisaged him winning this easy. I just didn't.
Never.
There can be no complaints. And
And
you know what? I'm
no
not even gonna denigrate Fulton. I think you might have seen a great fighter in there tonight.
That just showed there's levels.
Yeah.
Bro. There's levels. You got good fighters and then you got the very best. And I think I'm saying this on camera as well. Even if Crawford, no matter what the Crawford and Spence winner is, I still have Inoue over them. I'm saying that on camera as well. Even if Crawford wins or Spence wins, I still have Inoue over them.
So you have him number 2.
Who?
Crawford
Inoue.
and Spence.
No, I said he'll have him
No, no, you have him number 2 pound for pound though.
No, I have him number 1.
You said Usyk was number 1, didn't you?
No, he's above Usyk.
He's above Usyk.
Bro, he's above everyone. Bro, you can't move up a weight class, knock out the best in the weight class after cleaning out a division in your first fight. Bro, there's no fighter that does that. No fighter does that. You can't name me one fighter.
Tank does it.
I would have.
What champion did he do that? What champion did he do that to? What champion? Give me one. I can go through. I've watched every
he's been up
fight.
in weight and knocked
He
man
has
out.
never knocked out the best in any weight class. Give me one weight class.
Who?
Tank has never moved up to a weight class and knocked out any
he has
fighter.
knocked out the best in a weight class.
What weight
He
class
knocked
was
out
that?
Ryan Garcia.
Oh, bro, allow me. Give me a fighter. Give me one fighter.
Mario Barrios.
He wasn't the best in the weight class.
No, he wasn't.
Taylor was the undisputed champion at the time, so it couldn't be him.
They kept cutting to someone.
Why is he giving him a certificate?
Forget the medals, mate. He's got the certificate.
Well, you know what? I've got to say, I'm mightily impressed by that.
Mightily impressed.
With a performance like that, there's one more champion because this is for WBO.
Let me just finish this as well. All these people that are slagging off Fulton, stop it, bro. Give the man credit. Give Inoue credit. Stop slagging off Fulton. Fulton did his best. He didn't quit. He didn't run. He just got beaten by the better man. It's as simple as that. Give Inoue his full credit. He stepped up in weight. He didn't just beat Fulton. He beat him up and then knocked him out. You can't get better than that. So for these people saying, oh, Fulton was scared, he's rubbish, this and that, I think you're taking away from what Inoue did. Nick,
this is for WBO and WBC. There's another world champion, Marlon. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Tapalis, I think.
He just beat MJ because MJ had the belts before.
Yeah, he's got the WBA and the IBF. Yeah. You'd have to think that Inoue can clean him out. He's actually got 3. He's got 37-3, so he's got 3 losses on his record.
It was a dubious win as well. Like he fought Ahmed Alayev. Ahmed Alayev was the champion before and he hasn't even made a title defense yet.
Yeah. So if you can go and get a fight with him made, that'll be a big fight in the division, and he can not only step up but in 2 fights unify that division as well.
Undisputed in 2
undisputed in that.
Here comes the final blows. Overhand right. He was getting caught with that a lot. Oh,
Yep, and then
totally discombobulated.
And you know what
him.
was so crazy?
That
Yeah,
Look
should've-
how
Look at that
accurate he was
left
with the
hook.
follow-up shot.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Fulton touched his gloves on the canvas, so the ref should have got
You
there
know what
quicker,
was
and
crazy, though?
that should have been a knockdown. If you look
Inoue
here,
Fulton saw the overhand right as well. He saw it.
Started
and he
up
still
with the
got
body.
caught.
And then look
he
here.
saw it and
No, but
still
that's
got
the speed.
caught.
what's
But
there?
speed.
Just there. Once he,
No,
yeah, no, he
the
did
ref's running
come in.
over. He's
He
running
did
over.
No, but what
Yeah.
I was saying,
But-
what I was
Because once the
saying,
glove touches
Laurie,
the canvas, that's a knockdown.
But
what I
that's
was
the
saying,
killer
Laurie, is
instinct there,
normally
look
you
at
get
that.
knocked out by punches that you don't see. He saw it and still got knocked out.
Oh no, his gloves didn't actually touch the
Did he
canvas.
not touch the canvas?
It doesn't look like it.
He was
Looked
on his
like
way
it,
down.
But the
Yeah.
final,
But he was, yeah.
I don't think there was a final knockout blow. I just think he was smothering him
No,
with a
there
load
was,
of
look.
punches. Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah, no,
Yeah, look,
several
that's
knockout
in there,
blows.
the left hook was
Yeah, the left,
left
yeah.
hook.
all accurate shots.
Yeah, right
But
on the chin as well.
that is the first time. Obviously, Fulton was already damaged, but that was the first time in the fight that Fulton had been backed up into the ropes. And if you're going to get backed up into the ropes by somebody who's small, quick, accurate, and powerful, you're going to eat some punches. And he was already damaged. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, he was
out.
on Dream Street
Yeah.
after that first knockdown.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the question,
Inoue should be
That left
undisputed.
hook, you're right though. That
two
left
world
hook
champions.
when he was going down already, and his gloves may or may not have touched it. That left hook to the chin, that's what killed the fight over.
Yeah, the fight's over at that point.
that
Completely over.
Wrapped it.
Nah, bro. Inoue is the best fighter in the world. Inoue is the best fighter in the world,
I
bro.
think if you're Fulton, even though this is a damaging defeat, I think you can console yourself by saying to yourself that I didn't just get beat by a regular guy today. I
got beat by the best
somebody
fighter in the
special.
world.
So he's still got a career out there, man. This is the first defeat on his record.
He's still got a career out there. He
But
definitely
you
got to go
wonder
back
how
to the
much this is
drawing
going to
board,
take
though.
out of him.
Of course.
Psychologically, because let's face it, man, you come into the ring unbeaten and you're leaving without your belts and you've just been smashed up and knocked out.
I think people in the comments and anyone who's watching this fight, we've just witnessed history, bro. We've just witnessed. I'm a person. Bro, I love boxing. I live and breathe boxing, bro. We've just witnessed history, bro. Because
But supposing
we don't
Crawford
see
does
this.
that to Spence
no, bro,
or
you're
vice
not
versa.
Bro, you're not understanding what I'm telling you, bro. You don't do it in your first title, your first time moving up a weight class. You don't do it in
Yeah,
your
but-
first time moving up a weight class. And either way, even if you say that, there isn't any. If my man won every second of the fight, it wasn't even like it was close,
Completely
bro.
dominant
He
performance.
showed levels between someone who we thought was elite.
Yeah,
But
but we
it-
think that Crawford and Spence are elite. So what I'm saying, if Crawford or Spence, either one, go out there and dominates the other one, like what you've seen tonight, you could say legitimately that they could be.
He's saying that's impressive, but that's a weight class that they're already comfortable
Already
at.
fight at. They already fight at that
This-
weight
this-
class.
this is
Yeah, I
diff-
know that, but what I'm countering that by saying at the moment, the resumes of Crawford and Spence, most people think would be better than Fulton's.
Better than Inoue's, you mean?
No,
Better than Fulton's. So
Okay.
say it's more impressive. Yeah, okay,
No,
fine.
but-
It's an
no,
argument of
but-
doing it to someone that's
my-
competed at a higher level versus doing
my-
it to someone in a
Which
weight
is
class
why I
above.
have
My-
Usyk above him.
My asterisk to that will be then, if that's the case, Inoue cleaned out a division. This is Spence's only division he's fought at. So
this
then-
guy has got some clown here called Box. He says, Laurie, just accept no LDBC fighter will be pound for pound number. First of
my
all, what's
gosh.
an LDBC fighter?
Oh, God.
I know what that means.
I know where this guy's.
I know what that means as well.
I know where this guy's
I
coming
know what that
from.
means.
You're one of those guys, Box, who you've got something other than just boxing as your motivation. So we're not even going to give you no more credibility because I know where you're coming from, James.
I'll explain to you after, but you said Usyk. The only reason why I won't have Usyk ahead of Inoue, and this is the only reason why, is because he hasn't, when he moved up to heavyweight, he didn't beat the best. Unfortunately, not to his fault, because he hasn't fought Fury yet, but even though I rate his win over AJ, Fury is still the best. There is no one in this.
So Tyson Fury is the
Yeah,
person
but-
stopping
yeah,
Usyk
but-
from being pound for pound
It's
number
not
one.
his fault. It's
Yeah.
not his fault.
Say that again. Say that again.
Usyk didn't move up to heavyweight and fight the best. It's not his fault because Fury don't want the
He
fight.
fought a legit
But
world
Anthony
champion.
Joshua and the resume that he had
No, but
before the Usyk
you have
fight
to be
and
the
who
best in
he
the weight
was as a
class.
person and the people that he had
he was as a person.
beat.
You have to be.
Who he was as a fighter, not who he was as a person. Who he was as a fighter, the fighters that he beat, the stranglehold he had over the division for a long time, ignoring the Ruiz fight, which he came back and won, for Usyk to not only beat him but dispatch of him twice in the manner in which he did.
Inue's a better man.
Inue's done it in a better manner.
But as we said, Fulton was never the fighter Anthony Joshua was. If
What
you
do you
look at
mean?
his
In what
career,
way? In what way? What
his
do you mean?
career and his history.
Fulton.
No, look,
Fulton,
everyone can look back and disrespect the names that Anthony Joshua now, but in his peak and the fights that he was fighting.
Here we go. Here's the big.
When Anthony Joshua beat Usyk, he had already lost, and he was not the best in the world. No matter how you put it, Anthony Joshua was not the best.
There was arguments to be had.
No, bro. When Usyk
and
beat
even with
AJ,
the loss against Ruiz, he came back and won, and he was still 10 times the fighter Fulton was. If you look at all their careers,
he was never the best in the weight class. You're not understanding what I'm saying.
He was before Fury came back.
When Usyk fought him, bro, was AJ the best in the weight class? Yes or no?
There was arguments.
Bro, no, there wasn't.
It was between him and Fury. The arguments were between him and Fury.
No,
and Fury is one of the greatest of all time. And you have to add what Usyk did.
Don't agree with you. Don't need to say they're on drugs.
Let me ask you. So
I agree with you, but
you ask a million people who was better between AJ
James,
and Fury.
as we know, has his own way of thinking.
Let me cut in here real quick.
I can see what you're saying.
One second.
He's still a bigger name than Fulton was, and it's a bigger chest than Fulton was.
I don't know about that.
1 second. When we're talking on the boxing show tomorrow and we talk about champions and how champions conduct themselves, we've argued about Fury, we've argued about Canelo. I'm just saying, this guy's taken a step up. He's fought one of the world champions that has 2 belts, and he's currently standing in the ring with the other world champion who has the 2 belts, and they're going to get that fight on, and he's going to go for the hardest fights in that division. And there may be people out there, well, there probably isn't at this weight class, but even if there are people out there that's got more money or more fame or whatever, he wants the belts. Like, what I like about Inoue and Usyk as well is the way they conduct themselves as champions. That's what puts them above.
Man said Canelo.
That's what puts them above people like Canelo and Fury and stuff. The way they conduct themselves as champions. Yes, we can all make money. Not all of us, but yes, these guys can make money. They make good money, but they're making money on the way to building that real boxing legacy. And he wants to.
Let me ask you a question. Do you agree
undisputed
with Shane that Inoue is with this dominant and, let's face it, a masterclass performance?
Yeah.
Do you think he's pound for pound number 1?
It's between him and Usyk for sure. If people want to debate that, then I can hear the debate go on for hours, but it's definitely between him and Usyk for sure. The arguments for him over Usyk is that this performance is over Fulton is better than any performance that Usyk's put in over Anthony Joshua. Completely dominated him, KO'd him. On his first fight, Usyk had warm-up fights with Derek Chisora and
Chaz Witherspoon.
He's had warm-up fights, then took the AJ fight. This is his first fight at this weight class. That's like walking into heavyweight. Imagine if Usyk walked into heavyweight, fought Fury and knocked him out in the 8th round. That's insane.
But he did it to Anthony Joshua. Can I throw one more?
Parliamentary procedure.
I've hold it.
Parliamentary procedure. Same question to you. Do you think with this dominant masterclass win over Fulton, as Shane said, he stepped up away and just decimated the guy, let's be honest. Do you think that now makes Inoue pound for pound number 1, yes or no? If not, tell me your reason why.
No, and as I was just about to say, there's one argument I'm going to throw in that's slightly different. I think a fighter going up to heavyweight, the reason I have Usyk above it is because when you talk about a fighter going from cruiserweight to heavyweight, there is such a huge gulf in size. If you look at the size between Usyk and Anthony Joshua, and if you're talking pound for pound, and the things that he did at this fight, they had to weigh in at the same fight. Yes, there was a little bit of reach advantage, but they were roughly the same size. The size difference between Usyk and Anthony Joshua is phenomenal. Yeah. So the skill disparity that he has to have to make up for that size and extra power has to be a lot bigger, which is why I will always give the rub to someone going from cruiserweight to heavyweight.
No, but listen to what the man's saying. He does make a good point.
It's a good point, but Anthony Joshua wasn't the best in the weight class, so it doesn't matter. You have to fight the best in the weight class for me, and you didn't.
But even if you want to debate whether Fury or AJ is the best in the weight class, everyone pretty much knew before this fight that Fulton was the best in the weight class. Yeah. It wasn't up for debate.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, right? I'm going to be the voice of reason for a change. And I'm going to say
very reasonable.
You put it out there, which is fair enough. You agree with him. You didn't. And I'm going to say at the start of tonight, I did say that if Inoue puts on a dominating performance, he's going to be in the top 3 pound for pound, and I'm going to stick to that. I'm still not going to quite crown him pound for pound number 1 yet.
Between him and Usyk.
No, but you said pound for pound number 1.
I said it's debatable between him and Usyk.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
But yeah.
But what we've witnessed today is greatness, man. You can't.
It's an insane.
Because a lot of people in the comments, right, are unfairly, in my view, having a pop at Fulton. To me, I think Fulton's still a very good fighter. He just come up against a beast tonight. It happens.
Facts.
A beast in his prime, in his own country. You know what I mean?
Fulton tried a couple of different things.
He tried moving.
Yep, he tried
backing him up.
Everything he tried.
And everything he tried, he was second best.
Yeah.
It's not
100%.
like when Paul Butler fought in Inoue, he felt the power, he was on his bike for the rounds. Donaire, he tried, he got wasted. Fulton tried, he tried to vary his tactics. Everything he did, he just got
peppered,
bested.
like Sam.
Yep.
Comprehensively.
Fact.
And you're doing that to a very good fighter. You're not
Fact.
doing that to a scrub. And like Shane says, you're doing it to a guy as well that you've had to step up in weighting, give away weight. Very impressive, man.
Daniel Chambers in the chat said, I think got a super chat there as well, but Daniel Chambers said if Crawford wins, I think he'll be pound for pound number one. And I can hear that because again, it's stepping up.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting.
I can hear that, but it also depends on the nature of the
man,
victory.
If
If he goes out there and knocks him out in the second round.
Another way.
If he went out there and knocked Spence out second round,
yeah, let me put it another way, right?
Let
Let me put it another way. You talk about stepping up in weight, yeah, but you imagine Crawford was to do what you saw tonight to Spence, or Spence do that to Crawford. Don't forget, most people have Crawford before tonight as their number one or number two.
Yeah.
So you imagine if Spence was to go and do that to a number 2 pound for pound guy. You're telling me you wouldn't have him pound for pound number 1?
Nope. Because he hasn't done it. This is his only weight class he's fought at. So
okay,
this is the only weight class he's fought at.
But anyway, got a super chat here from Imanchu Yadav. It's Shane, but it's not Usyk's fault. Fury ducking Usyk.
It's not his fault.
Agreed. Yeah,
it's not his fault, but it's the truth.
Yep.
But I think the way you say that is very disrespectful to Anthony Joshua.
Somehow you'll try and find a way of bringing Conor McGregor into this.
Right? What do you mean, man? Don't try and push this agenda and this narrative. I gave a valid reason as to why I put Usyk above. I think pound for pound is very important.
I've got to cut you short there. We're going to round up, and we're going to start with Shane because Shane's got to go. Shane, in a minute or so, when I say in a minute or so, in a minute, give us your thoughts on the fight. I think we know what you're going to say, but for the people.
I think that was a terrific performance. I was very emotional during the fight because I wanted Fulton to win. But
yeah, you called me. You said that I've got a losing mentality, so presumably you're going to apologise for that.
At least you haven't held on to it. That's the main thing.
I get he was emotional. He saw his friend. He saw his man getting beat up, man.
But obviously, in all honesty, Inoue is very we just saw greatness there, and I think I will never underestimate how great. And in my opinion, I think we've just witnessed something that we haven't seen and we don't see. You brought up and you highlighted the fact that he wants the best available opponent. The last video I done on the channel, I said,
like Canelo.
No, but the last video I done on the channel, I said Canelo needs to behave like Inoue. I said that on the channel.
You did.
And
you took stick for it as well, but you were right.
Of course. And after seeing what he's done, you can't.
No, but apparently we're only doing that because he's not black.
I guess Inoue's black.
Inoue's Jamaican.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because obviously I said pound for pound was Usyk, then I said Inoue. Both of them must be black.
Yeah.
Well, whatever, bro.
Yeah. No, but you know how some people like you guys like Bok get down. You know what I mean? They've got an agenda. Anyway, thanks, Shane. Hopefully we'll see you soon tomorrow.
I'm flying out, so I'm gonna be at the Crawford Spence fight.
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
I'll see if
You're gonna be tomorrow.
You're gonna be tomorrow, man.
You're flying out Thursday.
Yeah.
I got stuff to get sorted. That's the only thing.
Brother, just come to us an hour. You live up the road, man.
Come
I'll see you
on.
tomorrow. See you tomorrow, man. Nah,
But anyway, give a round of applause for Shane. He's been very good.
I'm gonna see if I can get some content for the DR Sports.
Yeah. We're gonna arm you with a.
We could do one of those live call-in shows like we did for the World Cup. Call Shane over in
in no, man.
LA.
Enough respect. Thanks for coming in. Sorry the show started so late, but yeah, it's great to have you along. Take care.
Peace, brother. I'll shout you.
It's going now.
We'll see you soon.
See you, man.
Right, same question
flight,
to
bro.
Nick. Break it down for me, man. We've just witnessed a tremendous performance.
I think,
and I know you're impressed, having sat next to you.
Yeah.
You were purring at some of the work that was going on there.
Unbelievable stuff. I did say all the signs pointed to a late stoppage. I guess round 8 is mid-late rather than a late stoppage. But it was an unbelievable performance. Like, it's not just the result. That's the point we're trying to make. It's not just the result. It's the nature of the result. And Stephen Fulton, you've got people in the chat looking at him like he's a bum.
I know,
and he's a very, very good fighter. But but to be fair to them, if they don't know him, haven't watched him fight regularly, he made him look like a bum.
This is what I don't like about boxing fans, right? Like before, everyone was saying that this is going to be a great fight, two great fighters, you know, top echelon stuff. The minute Inoue goes and does that to Fulton, all of a sudden Fulton's rubbish.
I understand that, but that's not boxing fans.
No, it is.
No. Let me finish. It's not boxing fans because
they don't understand boxing.
It's not just that. If you look at Arsenal versus City, people think there's a title race, and then if we play City and they smash us 8-0, people go, "You were never in a title race. You lot are crap." Yeah. So these types of things happen across sport.
I would describe them as boxing fans who don't understand.
We were literally talking about it earlier on in the show about the big taboo around a boxer having a loss, especially when you get knocked out. All of a sudden, people discredit everything else you've done in your career, and they see you as a lower fighter, and they would go from hyping you up to be the biggest thing because, as you said, in sport and in life, we love to build people up to be these great mammoth things that they aren't. And then the second that they get to that point, we want to tear them down. And the second they get a loss, people are going to use that to discredit what Inoue did. But the fact of the matter is, as we've said 1,000,001 times, Inoue is just on a different level. Do I think Fulton's done?
Even me,
I think
I've
he
got to
could
concede
take
that.
something from it. But
I knew he was good, but this fight for me today proved that he's on another level.
Just the last thing on boxing fans, I will say I think the difference is between boxing and other sports is boxing is the sport where I come across the most fans with the least actual experience of playing of competing in the sport. Lots of football fans play football, lots of cricket fans play cricket, lots of people I meet that I talk about boxing to have never boxed. So I think there is a bit of a lack of an understanding of their only experience in it through the screen and not necessarily engaging in it. Do you know what I'm saying? But listen, what we just saw was an unbelievable performance, and I think as time goes on, that performance is good. It's going to age like wine as we see him go on, as we see, especially if we see Fulton get back in the ring and start beating people and showing what he can do. People are going to really realise just how good this guy is.
I don't quite know how to take this. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But Echo 452 says, I am one of those. I've seen this Fulton guy before. It makes me question the level of competition he's fought in his career.
Exactly.
No, but the funny thing is, where was all these comments before? I didn't see anyone say this. Everyone was like, yo, this is going to be a great fight. And, you know, don't get me wrong, most people thought Inoue would win. I thought Inoue would win. But no one saw this, bro. No, I didn't 100%, I didn't see anybody say this.
All Echo needs is to see Fulton get back in the ring, put on a couple great performances, and then he's going to change his mind again. Not in a disrespectful way, but then he's going to fall in love with that fight again.
If he does, do you think he can learn from this? Do you think it can be, I know it was more convincing, but like a Canelo-Mayweather situation where he fought that and he saw the levels because he experienced everything. As you said, he tried everything against Inoue today. He tried every single tactic, every single style that he could try to use against Inoue, and he was second best in every single one. Do you not think that he can pick up off the wavelengths of the thoughts and the minds and the little intricacies that Inoue
29.
was doing?
Canelo was very young at the time.
24, yeah.
And Fulton's 29. You know, he's coming up to 30. He knows what he knows. He'll get better. He can make small adjustments, but he can't make the sizable adjustments but you know, of course he'll take from the experience. He has to. And in life, in any facet of life, when you lose, you have to try and take
Let's be honest,
some experience.
For Fulton, it's a chasing experience because he got humbled tonight. He didn't just get beat. He got ran through, basically.
Like a Vindaloo on a hot summer's night.
Some of your analogies, bro. But anyway, he was well beaten, right? I think, you know, everybody's seen that. But that's not to say that he can't recover his career because he got beaten today by a great fighter. That's what I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
So unless, I mean, you don't know the psychological and physiological things that this might take out of him moving forward, but hopefully he can get his career back on track because I do rate Fulton. I just think that today he came up against a special fighter. Yeah. Okay, so I've had my say, you've had your say. We're going to leave it with James, give him the last word. You've seen it. I'm sure you were impressed. Tell the people what you thought.
I thought it was an absolute masterclass from start to finish. The thing I was really, really impressed with Inoue is the way that he paced himself throughout the fight. He showed a little bit of power in the first 2 rounds, started to earn a bit of respect, as I said, and then he allowed Fulton to come onto him. He realized that he wasn't doing the right things. He was trying to sit back too much, so he came onto him. He tried to change it up a little bit, and each round you just saw Inoue getting more and more into it, upping the pace a little bit more, giving him a few more things to worry about, switching stances a bit, hitting him with different angles. And then once it got to the 6th, the 7th round, once there was no way back for Fulton, bang, he stepped on the gas. 8th round, he had the killer instinct when he had his man hurt, stepped on him, beautiful left hook. And as you said when he did it, the accuracy of the punches, he wasn't just flailing his arms around going for loose shots. The way he picked them perfectly, it's like the whole fight he was calculating the exact angles of where to hit him, and when he stepped on the gas, he killed him off. Phenomenal.
Echo 1454, sorry, Echo 452 has come back. What he says, I've never seen him. My bad. I'm not encouraged to watch any of his future fights based on his performance. Okay, fair enough. But listen, I just want to say that we had to wait a while for this fight to get started. But once it got started, we were not disappointed. Not in Inoue anyway. You could say you were disappointed in Fulton, but then I would argue and say that was because Inoue was so good. I thought Inoue would win, but I never envisaged it would be this easy. I genuinely thought that if he did win, it was going to be a really good fight, a really competitive fight, which it wasn't. Got to say that. And I'm speaking as a fan of Fulton. Yeah. You know what I mean? So fair play to Inoue. He now goes to 25-0. He's now a four-weight world champion. Yep. He's a great fighter, man. And what I'm not going to do is denigrate Fulton and say, he was scared and this and that, because he did try. It's just that he wasn't up to it. He just wasn't at the level. Just wasn't at the races today. It's as simple as that. Well done to Inoue. Condolences to Fulton. But we've seen a great, exceptional fighter in the ring tonight, and I want to see more of him. And we're looking forward to more boxing on the DR Boxing Sports channel. Keep it locked and loaded on the channel, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tune in to our DR Boxing Weekly show. We're going to have plenty to talk about tomorrow when we discuss this fight and the upcoming Spence versus Crawford fight of the weekend. Keep it locked and loaded on this channel.
We're going to be here this weekend as well.
We will be. We're out. See you soon. Take care.